Hey, welcome everybody to CrowCast episode 50. 50. Welcome one and all the Crow family. I can see all your comments. I love reading all the comments before we go live. It really gets the juices going. It makes me feel a bit nervous.
Half a decade. It's half a decade, is it? Half a decade.
No, that's 5 years. Decade's 10 years.
Terrible at maths. You know that. You would have scored me.
That's brilliant. Welcome one and all. It's going to be a fabulous show. We've got two new wave of classic rock bands with us. We got the mighty Coda and the mighty Mason Hill. What a show is going to be, Ronnie.
Yeah, man, I love it. I mean, the scene is so strong at the moment. So many great rock bands charting, getting to number one. You know, you've got You Me at 6, Architects, Bring Me the Horizon. There's just such a strong pool. Then you've got the Wagons, Scam the other day. They did great. So yeah, man, it's brilliant to have Mason Hill on and the Coda. Just goes to show how strong this genre is, like, you know. So you've been seeing a lot of that on the socials lately. You know, the debate of is rock dead, isn't it not dead? It's not. It's always been there. It's, you know, and the rock fans are keeping it alive, man. They're all buying the merch, they're buying the vinyls, they're buying the records. It's great times, man. It's really, really good times.
It is, bud. We should write a song.
Exactly.
Rock and roll ain't dead. Yes.
I mean, a lot of these bands have been on. Yeah, it's great, and I'm sure others will be coming on in the future as well. It's really bizarre. I think we were talking about it earlier, where normally we'd see them across the scene, like, you know, whether it be at festivals or at gigs. So it is a different platform, I suppose, to have them to come on to, you know, when we've been listening to their record, to talk about their record, where normally we would talk about this backstage, or we would so that's the cool thing about CrowCast. It's almost like a live catch up with them, see where life has taken them, and where it's going in the future. Like,
yeah, it is mad. You only get to see bands like for 10 minutes, unless you're at a festival and you kind of see them around the festivals for like all day. But you don't really have time to talk. So this is really, you know, when we're getting bands on now, we talk about like where they're going, where they've been. It's in depth, like, and I think CrowCast is brilliant at that. Learn so much about touring bands.
Yeah, and that's spot on, man. I mean, you know, we've had a lot of, like, Ricky was on the other day and obviously promoting the record. Did you see that? That time Brill that did, mate. Great figures across Europe, in America, UK. You know, it just goes to show, you know, people are supporting these artists and they are buying the record. It's just brilliant, man. And it's been a great start. I mean, we're already in March and it's been some outstanding records out, like, you know, so.
Yeah, absolutely, bud. And I just think when that green light goes, I think every rock show on will be sold out.
Yeah. No, I do believe that. Well, there's no excuses. Me and you have talked about this before of, it's so easy to kind of say, oh, no, I won't go out tonight, where I think for a long time, everybody will appreciate the fact of, I mean, you think about living up in London, man. We've always talked about that, how many bands are on every night. I can see those places rammed, like, you know, of just supporting live music and being able to, like, you know, and I've already seen, it's beautiful today. I was looking on the socials and a lot of gigs were announced, whether it been the Wagons announcing a new tour. Mason Hill, who we'll talk to later, they're announcing a new tour, or they've announced a new tour, and you can see straight away the rock community, they're 6 hours away, I'll be there. They're already making arrangements to do that and to be there for those occasions, like, you know.
Yeah, I think the massive difference now is, I think, like, our Crow family, the supporters for us, they've always shown us love and support. But I think the people that would go to the odd gig here and there, I think, like, they are almost can't wait for this time to stop, because I think they took it for granted. Like you said, there's always a gig on, there's always a band playing. There's none of that. Like, and when that green light comes, I just think it's going to be, the only problem is going to be is if someone is double booked. Like, you're going to see a band and then, that band is put on another show somewhere else. But I think there's room for everyone, and man, I cannot wait. It's going to be incredible. But like you said, the scene is so alive and well, it's unreal.
Same with festivals, Shane. Like we joked about it off air. You know, where bands kind of get that. Oh, we'll hang around for half hour and then we'll kind of shoot. Where now
Yeah.
it's going to be like you're going to be trying to drag the bands away. Because just to be back at festivals would be amazing, like, you know, and especially for bands. I mean, a little bit of like the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain. It's really cool being in a band when you rock up to a festival because there's not a lot of bands you get to see throughout the year. So a festival for a band is kind of like hanging or catching up with people. So it's really, really cool. Like, you know, it's do you find that? Because obviously, especially with the bigger festivals as well, with the genres, the split stages, there's bands that you might not have seen or you're not necessarily gonna go on a tour with, like, you know.
Absolutely. It's kind of made me want to see more live bands. This whole, you know, stuck in the house. And I've taken it for granted. It's not just rock fans. I've taken it for granted. I'm in a rock band. I'm thinking it's always about performing. It's always about putting on a show. But like, I need that bug. I need to go and see someone. I need that inspiration. I need to go and, I was going to say, let my hair down, but I haven't got that much hair. But do you know what I mean? Go and have a beer with your buddies and go and watch a band on stage. Like, and so, yeah, man, it can't come quick enough. We're nearly there, folks, right? Keep the faith. Don't do anything stupid. We're nearly there. And look out when that green light comes on. Oh, my God. The Crows will be ready. Are you? Simple as. I'll drink to that.
I'll drink to that as well. Oof. Talking about drink, we're not here to tease you tonight, but massive thanks to the Crow family yet again. Unbelievable. Wow, we chucked the beer up last night. The brewery put it up, and it's gone. It's sold out again. There's already plans for another batch. Don't worry. It's all being upscaled as we speak. It's brilliant, Shane.
It's absolutely incredible. Which is all drinking way too much. No, it's not that. I just think it's that support. Any way they can. The fact it's a good product at the end of the day. It's a banging beer.
Yeah.
But the love and support of Crow family and people who like beer. Rock music and beer, man. It just goes hand in hand, doesn't it?
Well, it's really funny. I mean, we were looking at Charlie today, and I think he bought like 18 cans, and you're watching other people. But genuinely, when we're in a band, we're trying to get stock as well. We genuinely, because we genuinely like drinking it. So you'll see us in our group chat yet again behind the scenes, and we're like, "When's Lee getting us our Neepers? When's our stock coming?" It's just like it's brilliant, though. Absolutely brilliant. The feedback is phenomenal. We'll be speaking to Scott about that as well because he's far more qualified, and we'll let him explain all about that. But yeah, it's exciting times, and yet again, not just you supporting all the bands on the scene who've got their records out at the moment, but you know, you're really getting behind something if you believe in it, like, you know. So
that's it. Ruth Sedgwick there. I'll get some. Yes, it will be back in stock soon. It's just as soon as it's in, it's gone. It's amazing. D Brogan, what about a TDC theme? Jack Daniels. That goes with rock music too. It does. It so does. And I'm there. I'm with you. That's what I want. James Goldsmith got 4 cans, but still no taste or smell. James, hang in there, brother. It'll come back.
Oh, it's brilliant. Hey,
Rob Robertson pulling over on the side of the dual carriageway toward a beer. Yeah, don't drink and drive.
Yeah, I apologize. There's a lot of messages I haven't got back to yet. There's a lot of hate, but jokedly hate. A lot of people are like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you didn't give me the heads up." Look, there'll be more batches made. I promise you that. It's delightful. Even all the local pubs are on about when they're opening, they're going to be stocking it. So it's fantastic. Great times. But shall we get straight into it? Shall we have a guest? Shall we have a couple of guests?
Oh, I love it. Can't wait to get into this. Ladies and gentlemen, Crow family, please welcome Adam and Scott from the Coda.
Good evening.
How we doing, guys?
How you doing?
Good to see you, boys.
Good to see you. And congrats, the 50th show. I mean, what an honor.
Indeed.
Absolutely incredible, bro. We never thought it would come to this, 50 shows in. We just did it to kill some time, to do something. And here we are 50 shows later, drinking beer and getting quality bands like yourself on to talk at their shit. But it's incredible. We love it.
It's been awesome. Like, you've been troopers, keeping everyone like motivated. And the caliber of guests you've had on as well, I feel like a bit of a pretender. So thanks for giving us the honor.
No, guys, I mean, like we said at the top of the show, it's about supporting everything that's happening in the scene. Yourselves, Mason, all got cracking albums, both out this month. But before that, how have you both been keeping in lockdown? What's your journey? Where were you before it kicked off? And how did it affect you? What have you managed to do? A couple of questions there, but do you want to kick it off, Scott? Or
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously on a personal level, like for everyone, it's been shit, hasn't it? It's just been everyone's lives flipped on their heads, and that the shock, like, you know, I felt as an individual, and I suppose we all did, but we as a band have been really fortunate, I suppose, in that we had an album under wraps, and then we got a record deal, and we were able to work behind the scenes and all the plans that are now coming to life. And it was great to have that opportunity, but also kept us busy. And we tried to do something pretty unique, like Mason Hill Ave and Scam did, and some of the other bands through lockdown, by releasing albums and getting really creative. But what it's meant is, on certain occasions, we've been allowed to rehearse, and we've been allowed to do certain filming things and videos under all the guidelines. Like, I think when you guys went out to Rock Palace, didn't you? It's a pain in the arse, but at least we can do it. And so I've kind of had enough of like music to sort of keep me going. But like you guys were saying, the urge just to get out and play live and hit a stage is just like, and now it's getting closer. It's just getting even more like tense. So fingers crossed it all happens. But yeah, just been kind of plowing through as best I can, keeping positive. And then just, as I said, been really fortunate that we've had the backing of Earache over the last year to help us with the album. And that's kind of coming out just as hopefully the world comes back to life, and hopefully that's a good positive sign, bit of optimism for everyone to go after.
Love that, bro. What about you, Adam?
I mean, Scott hit the nail on the head band-wise. I mean, it was just, I'd say the first 6 months, it was like we had a dirty secret, because we signed this, you know, as a band, it's our first deal. So whenever your first deal is always the biggest in the world, right? Because it's a record deal. So it was like a dirty secret to start with. And then the second half was great because we were able to tell people about it. And everything Scott said, it kept us busy. We were doing stuff, which was very fortunate, because a lot of people were talking about being bored and stuff. I'm like, oh, we're not, sorry. But on a personal level, I just feel grateful. You know, I have my health, I've had my sanity, everything's cool. I can't complain. You know, as musicians, I have more time to play my instrument, which I love, and under less pressure, which is fantastic. A lot of people whinge about some stuff. On a personal level, I started lockdown with one relationship. I'm glad it expedited getting rid of it. I'm glad it happens. Did me a massive favour. Like, I might still be with her, and you know, it just. Oh, thank God for that! Like, it just fast tracked another 9 months of pain I could have gone through, to be honest. So at least we nipped that in the bud early. Didn't even think about locking down with her, and happy as Larry, boys. Can't complain.
there's the first exclusive anyway. That's brilliant.
Yeah,
That's so brilliant.
Outstanding.
Yeah,
No,
so-
just on the quick one on the record deal thing. So like Adam said, we were sort of talking with the label through spring, and really exciting for all of us, because it's as a musician, you aspire to a deal and an album and all that kind of stuff. And as we were getting to the end of sorting it out, it hit in summer when there was like noises that lockdown might finish. And in my head, I was like, can we just please make sure the signing ceremony happens when the pubs are open? I was like, if there's one ask, I don't want to be signing my first record deal on, you know, like an e-signature on Zoom.
Yeah.
And thankfully the timing's just about worked. I think in July, when we were able to like sit outside or whatever, and it was great, and we got to celebrate as a band. So
yeah, we celebrated, which was the main thing. Right? It was great. It was great.
That's cool, because that's really, really important, because we you know, similar journey. Obviously we went up, seen the guys, did the contract signing, went out for some drinks with them. So that is really cool that you were able to acknowledge it, and properly, like, do you know what I mean? Not a delayed or anything. You were actually there, whether it been out on a pub bench or anything. It's, you still kind of had that moment together, that camaraderie, like, you know?
Yeah, it was, and it also made it more personal, because we made the decision that it wasn't going to be advertised in case it came across wrong or distasteful at the time. So it was a bit more personal, just between us as a band, our management, and the label. So there was only a handful, maybe a dozen people that really knew. For maybe, I'm trying to do the maths, July to October, November. So what's that? 4 or 5 months?
Yeah.
So there wasn't that many people that knew about it for a long time.
So what was the journey to there, Adam? Sorry to interrupt. What was the journey to that Uric signing? Because a lot of people know you've been around. Great first record, boys. We heard it. What was the journey from the first record to signing with Uric?
We've been lucky for many reasons. I'd say a question we get asked a lot was, or is at the moment, because we're promoting a lot in interviews and all that. Is what was it like making the album in COVID? And we didn't. We actually made the second album self-funded again in 2019. And there's many pros and cons to that, but the good thing is, because you're doing it under your own timescales, it was relaxed. We could spread it out. I think we tracked the thing between January till probably about April, May, and then we had the mixes by the summer, July. So then you fast forward to literally a year ago, which I'll come to in a bit. Earache put out their compilation album, New Wave of Rock and Roll, which we're very privileged to be part of, amongst some great bands, all part of the scene, which is very much echoes what you guys were talking about as we waited backstage. But the scene has had an injection, right? It's alive and kicking, and a lot of those great bands are on this album. And the little bit that hasn't really been captured in the history books, and not a lot of people know, is there was the launch show, which was at O2 Academy, Islington, London. And I think there were 5 bands on the bill. We weren't originally on the bill. So a band pulled out. And we only got the gig, I think, about 3 weeks before the show. And I won't lie to you, if that hadn't have happened, I don't think we'd be here today. So luckily, I won't name the other band because they're still out there, alive and kicking and doing really well. Great band. Because it would be wrong of me to imply if they'd played, they would have got signed, because that's not true. But a band pulled out. We filled in. We played a good show. We met Earache at the bar afterwards. They approached us. We chatted away. John had a good chat with them. Introduced them to our manager, yada, 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 gig, lots of people, beer, blah, blah, blah. Fair play to them. They emailed us maybe 3 or 4 days afterwards. And the best thing was, we were like, great, we've got an album. Have a listen, see what you think. So it wasn't our way, and they came up, we'll like it, we'll have it. And then that started the conversation. So we were lucky in that we made the album the year before. This wonderful twist of fate happened that we played that show with them. And then Scott and I were chatting earlier. I think, is it a year ago today? A year tomorrow?
I think it was tomorrow. I think it was the 10th of March.
Yeah. 10th of March was that show.
Yeah.
And it was 2 weeks before Boris said everyone stay at home.
Wow.
One of
so
the
we put all those chess pieces together, right?
Yeah, looked down at us like, it's all like, you need these breaks, don't you? You guys know how tough it is. We've been together for 10 years plus, and Wagons were the same. All these bands have got a big history behind them, and you just need these little breaks. And when they come, you make the most of it. So we do feel really lucky, and just kind of run with it the best we could over the year, given all the circumstances. And here we are 2 weeks out, and following in the footsteps of Mason Hill, look like they're going to chart as well, which is awesome. And it just sets everything up for us and whoever's next. You guys will have another album, I'm sure, in the next year, 2 years. Wagons will. It's just, the scene is just really kicking on, isn't it? And Earache are obviously behind a lot of those bands, which is awesome.
I think that's because everybody's enjoying it, boys. Do you know what I mean? I think that's the key. It's great. It's fun. It's a great scene to be amongst. The fans are phenomenal. I mean, we left the live stage just before you would have signed that deal, obviously due to COVID, and we left it on a massive high, didn't we, Shane? Which it was just like, Wow. So you just know that those seeds are there, like, you know, and I think if you work really hard, anything's achievable now, guys. So
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, big time.
I feel for you guys, because that tour was absolutely nailing it, wasn't it? And you had the download lined up, and the flip side for us was, yeah, it was great to get the deal and stuff. We were able to work on that, but we didn't actually have a tour lined up, or we had the album in our back pocket, and we knew, you know, we thought it was great, and we wanted to get it out there. We didn't really have a plan beyond that, but so lockdown didn't really stop us doing anything. But I really feel for the likes of yourselves, where you were mid-flow, and then it's got like, I mean, how did you guys feel? Obviously, when it comes back, you'll hit that wave again. But I assume it was a bit of a shock, wasn't it?
Let me just down this pint a minute. No, we're slowly getting over it now. It's mad, really, because, you know, at the start of this whole lockdown, 12 months plus ago, yeah, we come off that tour and we were gutted. We're not going to lie. I'm not going to put sugar on it. We were bitterly disappointed. The tour had gone brilliantly. There was more bigger shows promised. We wanted to tour this album, tour the ass off this album, and had the legs. And like you said, it was growing. Momentum was huge, and then stopped. And it's taken us a while. CrowCast has helped unbelievably stay in touch with fans. And you know, we was talking about, oh, we'll have to do another album, and we're like, wait, what do you mean another album? We've only just done one, and we haven't toured it. We haven't done nothing with it. It's like one small UK tour, and it took us a long time. Well, it took me personally a long time to get over the fact that, and we re-released Point of No Return, the Ultimate Edition, and it was only until we'd done that I feel like, right, that's pretty much all we can do now, apart from shows. That's all we can do with that album. Put a new song on it, a couple of acoustic tracks, repackaged it. Crow family went and bought it. Amazing. That's done now. Now we got to move on to new music. Now we've got to, and we're excited about that. But at the time, we were devastated. I was like,
I bet. No,
there's so much you can do, boys. You
understandable.
know, you've got a couple of albums under your belt now, right? But it's not just about what people press play on in the car. You're already thinking of the shows, how you can build the show around this new material. So we had a killer first album. We got a killer second album. The amount of songs we can do, and we as a band love to change things up in the set, bring things down, you know, really a different experience to the album altogether. So that is what we were buzzed about. That's what we think we're good at, and we couldn't. And so it was just, it's so difficult. But, you know, I'm over that now, just as I carry on drinking.
The beer helps, doesn't it? Everyone's drowned their sorrows for the last year. But no, I think it's good to say that, because loads of other bands that, you know, would have been feeling that. But I think and even during the height of it, when you see people's comments and feedback about, you know, they can't imagine ever going to a gig again, or a big, you know, sweaty, and you're like, no, that's where the magic happens. That has to come back. I think the great thing now is there does seem to be a bit more of that optimism. And, you know, when we are all back out on the road, and from what I've seen, the messages that you guys get as well, people are buzzing for it, and they're going to be out there, and they're going to be, you know, even more enthusiastic. And I think that's great. It'll come back bigger and better.
That must have been pretty mad for you guys, though. So you've recorded the record, Mojo Skylar. That's 2019 now in a timeline. Yeah, that's when it was recorded. And then obviously we're fast forwarding to 220 when you played the gig in front of Zurich. So that would have been March 220. So you've got this record, it's ready to go. Like you said, I understand you know, for anybody watching, listening, you know, as a band, especially if you haven't got a label, you've got your package, as you call it. You can go and negotiate. You can try and try and get it out there. That must have been hard, because obviously if you go from 219 to 220 playing that show, did the contact come from Zurich obviously after that show? And then like you said, was it all done via this? Was it like the new way of like communicating, as on like via videos and deals and negotiating that way? Or
so things got serious, I would say, less than 2 weeks after that show. And what I mean by serious is, you know, a couple of flirty emails. Here's the album. Do you like? Yeah, I like it. I'll chat. You know, but actually, and then a serious email of, here's an offer. You know, it's right. Okay, now it's going to get grown up. Looking back then, so this is what, early April last year? The whole world, and I remember it vividly because the conversations I was having with Andrew, our manager and stuff, the whole world was like, oh, well, you know, hopefully this will be over in 6-8 weeks, 10 weeks max. No one knew how long this would go on.
Yeah.
So we did it. So we kind of, you know, you get around the table, you did. So in answer to your question, sorry, you know, we did the odd Zoom call, but none of it was straight away, oh, we're in this new world of remote working that we have to. It was this lovely naivety to start with. So everything was just phone calls and emails anyway, because, you know, we're heavily based in London. As you know, ERA HQ and Digby's Nottingham, and you've got other people all over the place, etc. And it, you know, it took a few months for people to twig just quite how big the impact of the world of COVID was going to be globally. So luckily, by the time that had happened, we'd already gone far enough down the line that we were able to, you know, look at paperwork and all that jazz with lawyers. And then that goes back to my point earlier that we then decided, right, we're going to do this in the summer, but we're going to keep a lid on it out of respect because let's see how this plays. And more so to kind of echo Scott's point, you know, about you guys is we were lucky because we hadn't cancelled anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's two sides to this. So you know, everything you say, Shane, is right. Cancelling tours and stuff, you know, it's horrible. It's heart-wrenching. Then you've got all the bands that cancelled production time. You know, 2020 was going to be the, you know, well, you know, as artists, our music is our babies. It was like, this was going to be the album. We're going to get in the studio, and then 2021 we're going to tour it. So they're back a year and all that stuff. We were like, well, made the album and we haven't cancelled a tour. And if this goes well, we'll be first out the traps. So we just, there was just definitely an element of being kind of diplomatic and respectful, and then just also thinking you can't wait forever. The world needs new music. We need to crack on. And I think we timed it pretty well in that we didn't go too early, we didn't go too late, so we just missed an opportunity and get swallowed up with all the amazing stuff that's happening. And you know, it's too late now anyway. We are where we are, right? So fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Getting packed up as we speak.
Yeah, I mean,
I can pull the plug now.
I hit on it because it's intriguing because everybody's got a different journey. Everybody's got a different story to tell. We've had a lot of guests, like you said, and some are managing to record an album during lockdown, which is incredible. Some are managing to do, like you guys, you've managed to do videos. You've managed to create. But what's intriguing about you guys as well, you managed to do business, which not a lot of bands talk about that, which is cool. And it is important that because people can see you manage to seal a big deal of your career during lockdown. Like, you know, you managed to get seen at the right time, and then do the business, like you said, when the world was kind of shutting down, but you were doing all the planning, and the business side of it and sealing everything. And then obviously then the plans were made, and that's how you can start talking about the record now, and now start looking at touring the record. So it's cool to tell our story, like, you know.
No, massive. And it's also, it's like, you know, it's that whole part of the scene that a lot of people don't see, right? Because everything you've talked about involved management, lawyers, and then now the Dust Coda. I'll avoid saying TDC for obvious reasons, don't want to confuse people. But the Dust Coda now as a team, you know, we've got a proper dedicated PR team now. We've got a booking agent, we've got a label, we've got management. You know, it's swelling, and all these things were happening in the background, and they all take, you know, you have to do it properly. And they're all great things to do because, you know, they all add value to how you progress as a band and get out there. So it's in many ways, it's been an incredible year for us, without doubt. And you could argue not a lot of instruments were played, but very important nonetheless. So
when we got back in the rehearsal studio after several months having not played, it was just like, whoa, how does this thing work?
We weren't that bad though.
No, you're right.
It was we all dreaded it, thinking this is going to be pants. Everyone thinks we're meant to be good, but actually it was.
It was
quite proud of us all. Very proud of us all.
you guys might have it where there is this sort of, after years of playing together, there's always that muscle memory or that connection that surprises you. Like, because we managed to go in and rehearse ahead of some of the live stuff we filmed that's going out, I think, later this week. And obviously getting prepped for that. So it's great to get back in the studio. It's just like, whoa, we've not actually played some of the album tracks together for, more than a handful of times.
Yeah.
But it's good. I think we're at a level now, and we'll hopefully get back in the studio, in the rehearsal studio, in a couple of weeks. Like you say, Ronnie, to go out and tour it. It's been sat with us for longer than we thought, 2-3 years. Just want to hit the road with it, and make the most of 2021.
I think the minute we have our first show, we'll turn into a punk band. Everything will be 10 times quicker. The adrenaline will be so high.
You'll be pissed.
In with there drinking a pint, but there now, like, bang, 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 and we're in. And we will turn into a punk band. I'm telling you.
Where we left it then, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, boys, listen, you got this epic album coming out, Mojo Skyline, March 26th. So, you've got 2 albums now. How does this one compare to the first?
Oh, I mean, for me, and I'm sure Scott's still a different way of putting it, it's a continuation of the first. But it's all about, we challenged ourselves to be sonically and a bit more of the writing, a bit braver in that, a bit more gusto, as in, fuck it, like, we want a bit of a bigger sound. We want to get horns. We want to get organ now and again, or some songs. It's like, well, let's make it epic. Let's make it 6 minutes long. Why not? So, because when you're starting out, you're very hell bent on being, no, it's got to be 3.5 minutes so it gets on radio. And there's still plenty of that. And God knows, in the pre-production process, we're good at starting with stuff that's 4 or 5 minutes, and then we sensibly chop it down. But we were just, it's a braver continuation. I don't think it's departed too much, certainly from the songwriting point of view, myself and John. Excuse me. Some of the songs were written before the first album.
Right, yeah.
Some of the songs, I reckon, maybe about 3 or 4 months before we actually got in the studio. They were so fresh and new. It's like, oh, that's banging, chuck it in. Yeah. So it's still organic rock and roll to us, because it all starts with me and John doing our thing, and then we take it to the rehearsal studio, and it's only 4 guys. And then we just had a bit of a vision with how we could sonically make it, just sound bigger and more bolder, and how this band kind of embarks. You've got to be confident, right? It's your product. It's like, no, we want to be a bit more gusto behind it and braver and embrace everything we're about, and we do. And I mean, I don't know. There's so many expletives to explain it, but chuffed to bits. It's love it. Yeah, I mean, I'm our best fan. I indulge in it all the time. I love it. It's great.
It really is, though. It's a great point. There's nothing better than coming up that studio and go at that moment in time, because that's all albums are. Moment in time will be different. If you go into an album now and in another year's time, it'll be completely different. But right there in that moment, walking up and going, do you know what? That's the best we got right now. That's
absolutely.
Yeah. We had some moments, as you always do in the studio. Like it's hard. This album for me was harder because it has to be. The thing about a first record is it's usually it's your set list for the history of your band up until you go into the studio. So the songs are so well formed. They're the singers, songwriters' best songs. And so the second album stretches you because you've not had time to really nurture them. But there were definitely moments for me anyway that we came out and there's like, we just captured something there that is amazing. The only other thing I would say is I'm our biggest fan as well, but I'm also our biggest critic. And like listening to your own stuff, especially when it's fresh, for me, can be quite difficult because there'll always be something that you're not 100% happy with. And Ronnie, you might know when you've hit like a rim or something, or you've not hit the bell of the ride as you wanted, but the rest of the take is perfect, so it stays on the record. But when you hear it for the first 100 times, it's that bit that annoys you. The great thing about this album, though, after hearing it for a year and a half, I've now like really come to terms with it as the wrong language, but
Good to hear, Scott. Good
I've
to
come to
know.
terms with
Lovely.
It's just wicked.
but I've had that magical moment where it's flipped, and I can now just enjoy it
Yep.
for what it is, and like really enjoy it. And it's good timing because just as we release it, and I've now got this basket in my head. I'm like, oh, is it better than the first album? You know, it's definitely different, and it doesn't have to be better or worse. That's up for people to decide. But that's a good problem for me to have now. And I just can't wait to hear what people think of it. We had 3 tracks out. It's a 12-track album. We like the sort of art of an album, you know, the journey it takes you on, and the songs that are, you know, the way the songs are numbered, ordered. There's thought behind everything. So hopefully, hopefully people get that.
I was going to want to start with the track listing. So starts with D. I shouldn't really say. Am I allowed to say names of songs? I'm not sure.
Yeah. It's all.
So it starts
published. Yeah.
There we are. You've got to be careful. See, you've got to be careful. So it starts. So all of that's been thought through of what needed to go first, what went last. The artwork is very cool as well, guys. Very, very cool artwork.
Yeah.
What's the score with the artwork? Did one of you guys come up with the idea, or was it somebody you knew, or it's very Queens of the Stone Age? It's got that very cool vibe to it.
I'll tackle this, because if I give you, I'll give you a clue. We have released some of this information, but the next beer I'm going to crack is a neck oil. So if I have our vinyl cover against the can of neck oil, there might be some similarities you're picking up there. So the story is, and I'll keep it as short.
So the story is you were pissed when you come up with ideas.
Exactly.
That's my type of album.
Things you have to take to come up with that kind of imagery. Yeah,
that's just a play.
But I'll try and not bore everyone. But basically, my day job, I have the pleasure of working for Beavertown, the beer company. Like you're saying, Robbie, I'm well practiced in drinking beer. And your one, like I did on the review, honestly, it is awesome. And high five to you guys and Lee, isn't it, at Dog's Window?
Yes.
I do feel bad for drinking it because I know a lot of people haven't got theirs yet, but there's more in the way, like you say. So, but yeah, my other life is working at Beavertown, and a couple of musical links here, which are really cool. So one is our founder, chief exec, Logan, is he's only set up the business 8 years ago. It's grown pretty quickly. It's a craft beer brand out of London. But he spent his 20s in a band. They were called Sons of Albion, over in the States, because they were lucky enough to tour with Slash, which is like just really fucking cool. So he was out on tour with Slash with his band, seeing all the American, America's craft beer scene, its barbecue scene is miles ahead of ours. And he really got into it, and he came back, set up Beavertown. His second name is Plant, so he's Logan Plant. He's the son of another famous Plant, a guy called Robert Plant, who you will all know is the lead singer of Led Zeppelin. So that's also really cool. Not that I know many sons of rock stars, but Logan is also the nicest, charismatic guy you'll ever care to meet, which adds to it all. But anyway, I've got this real sort of joy in working for a beer business that loves music, has got really creative identity, like you see with the branding, and that is because of our creative director, a guy called Nick Dwyer, who had just graduated university 9 years ago in art in London, went to work as a waiter at Logan's restaurant, which formed Beavertown, called Duke's Brew and Q. Logan was home brewing, came up with the beer. Nick had some sketches, and Nick loves comics and skulls. Hence this guy here, the Gamma Man. And Logan saw Nick's sketches, and those two minds got together, and they came up with this brand, Beavertown. It's just one of those sort of magical moments. And then Nick's got this really sort of crazy psychedelic creative vision, and he's also a lovely guy. So me and him became pretty good mates, and we are pretty good mates. So he very kindly offered his skills and his creative genius to put pen to paper and come up with some artwork for us. So again, in summer last year, in that gap that we were allowed to go out and go in pubs, we had some awesome nights, me and the band and Nick just meeting in pubs, drinking pints of neck oil and just brainstorming. And Nick's like, to sit with an artist who can immediately put ideas on paper, and an artist like Nick, who's so renowned in the craft beer world and the art world, to be honest, I was like, this is such a cool experience.
Yeah.
And obviously the point was to come up with the artwork, but just the experience was such a fun part of it. The logic behind it is kind of deliberately mysterious, to be honest. Make of it what you will. What I would point out is you've obviously got the broken guitar neck. You've got, Nick likes oranges, and he does like sort of landscapes, skylines, space visuals, that kind of stuff. So I suppose you could say this is his interpretation of a Mojo skyline, whatever that is. 4 band members in the car. We're watching some weird film. Traveling through the desert, the rock and roll highway. There's the sawn off shotgun. So there's loads of stuff there that hopefully, by doing these vinyls and the colored vinyls, people can actually look at it and just enjoy it. You remember, like in the old days, artwork was such an important part of label of vinyls. Same with yours. It's you want to put that effort into it, and you want someone that can bring something different to it, and Nick was exactly that guy. So bit more long-winded than I planned, but you get the picture. It's
Absolutely,
all,
bud.
beer and rock and roll. Like what more could you want?
I'll tell you something quickly though. So like Scott said, we had free pub meeting, and it was iterative. And the brief at the beginning was Nick, lovely to meet you. Oh my God, we're very lucky to have you. Here's the album. Listen to it, and then draw something. Do your thing. Because Nick was very good with us. He was like, do you want it to be me? Do you like the Beavertown stuff, or do you want something else? It's your. And we were like, mate, like, do your thing. Like, it looks awesome. The stuff you do is amazing. So interestingly, the first thing he came back with, which was really said, I listened to the album, and this is the first thing I drew, and it was a weird scene of lots of stuff, stuff coming out of a TV, and that was the main focus. And we were like, oh, Wagons have just released something with a big telly on the front. So annoying. And then that was really, he was like, yeah, cool, fair enough. And we're like, oh, but we like this bit and this bit. Next time round, what you see now, that it kind of all morphed into that.
Yeah.
So he's basically just gone full on creative.
Let's have a look at the artwork again.
So maybe the CD might be better to see. Yeah.
There it is. No, do you know what this says to me? This says to me, don't go on the piss with an octopus. Look at that guy, because he's drinking 8 cans by the time you're drinking 1, and that's the state you get in the back of a car. You're fucked.
Yeah, and he's
exactly
car up as well.
I think it's great, boys. We like you said, Scott. We grew up with bands like Ducky sticks out, and then Green Day. All the you're looking at something new every time you see it, and
comic thing.
And that psychedelic vibe. I love all that. The colors are really bright. It's
just fun, isn't it? It's like we've got a brand kind of, and it's very classic, I suppose. But we're not particularly precious.
Well, what was great is when we had the final artwork, and then we're that's the art, right? Yeah. Then we're arguing the toss over what's going to be the album artwork. Originally there was the Dust Coda Mojo Skyline, and there were so many different versions, and then it was like, oh, but the artwork's great. Yeah, don't bother try. It's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
And then it really wasn't a hard battle to settle on that. Everyone was just like, that looks really cool on your phone. It looked great on the vinyl. It looked great on the CD. It's just great. So yeah, it's just massive high five and kudos to Nick for pulling it off.
Great job, great play. It does look banging. But okay, so what's your favorite song, guys? What's your favorite out of these 12 tracks? Each of you, what's your favorite? We'll start with you, Adam.
Track 5, Rolling.
Very cool.
Oh, did you say why?
Yeah.
Oh, why? Because it's got a 2.5-minute guitar solo in the second half. Like every song should have, Shane. I thought you'd know that, but never mind, buddy. No, in all seriousness, it is the longest song on the album. Yeah, it must be. It's the epic one. It's a big one. It's a bit bold. We just pulled it off, and it's got everything you'd want from a classic rock song. It goes on a journey. it's a proper story, up and down, and the endings. I love it. Yeah, it's like a big old cauldron pot of banging rock ingredients.
When you're writing a song like that's got this epic sort of guitar solo and stuff, are you conscious of how long it's going to be, or is it just a feel thing? You putting it down, it's not like, that's too long, or is it just a feel thing? That's how it felt for me. That's how long it is. End of, it's going on the album. Or do you cut it down, or is it?
So that one, it's a good question, because the song didn't revolve around the ending, which is important, right? Because the song comes first. And we've got to this point. And I always had this little cheeky thing in the back of my head. I was like, this is the one I'm just going to have a bit, fuck it. I'm going to have some fun with. And then, which is all good and well. And then you're like, no, it's got to work. It's got to be tasteful. But then we managed to craft something, John and I, that actually, it comes in like that. Then vocals come in with it. Then it goes off. But then what the rhythm section do with John, like, everyone's having fun. Yeah. It's not just me having a ball. Like, the band are actually... and I'm not just saying this because I think it's actually joint best drum parts that Scott plays on the album as well. It's just, it's banging. But to answer your question, Shane, there were points when I was like, do a bit and pull it out. And then actually we were like, no, let's keep going. This sounds great. We can keep it going on and on. It's like, it's not, the story keeps getting told. You're not just repeating or, hitting notes for the sake of it. Like pretty proud of it. It's pretty cool, man.
That's wicked. I love you, Renat.
No, it's banging.
What about you, Scott?
I mean, it's tough call, to be honest, which is good. But mine is a song called Dreamer Light, which is track 4, I believe. And it's probably the opposite in some ways to Adam's take on Rolling, in that Dreamer Light for me is just such a well-formed sort of singer-songwriter type song. It's sort of John's baby lyrically, and the melody behind it, and it's got a catchiness that reminds me of something like Sweet Child of Mine or something. There's a hook and I just love, like almost like a poppy hook, and that song has got that, and it's still got the sort of TDC, the Dust Coda outro, where it's loud and it's big, and it's the song for me that crosses quite a lot of styles, which is maybe a departure from the first album, which was maybe a bit more down that kind of classic rock route. And I just love it. And it's not, it's not one that, like, there's not much going on drums wise. It's very simple, and it just lets the rest of the song really sing. I think it's important to have that balance on an album, like I said, the journey of an album. And the final thing, and it's because I can remember the first time I heard the mix, and because of, we're all under time constraints in the studio, sometimes you don't even hear what you've done. You hear it 3 days later when the producers comped it and sent it over. But our producer Clint, which is such a cool thing for me, is also a drummer, as in that's his instrument, which is quite rare, I think, but it's such an asset, because not that other producers overlook drums at all, but Clint really kind of goes after the drums and really pushes me. And basically, when I heard that track back and what he'd done with the sounds that we managed to get, and just the part, it just sent like tingles up my spine. I just had that moment with Dreamer Light, so that's why that's my favorite. But yeah, there's a mixed bag on there.
That's a great place to be, isn't it?
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah, man. It is, man.
It
really is.
Boys, I can't thank you enough for joining us tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you both. Mojo Skyline, March 26th. Guys, where can they get this album?
So if you go over to earache.com//the Dust Coda, we've got exclusive signed vinyl in different colors. We've got white, green, and orange. I believe we're down to our last few orange. So if you want orange vinyl, go and get it now. There's vinyl bundles, the CDs, signed CDs. And I think like some of the vinyl bundles come with exclusive tote bags and all that jazz. So get online, pre-order now. You will not be disappointed. You can get it on iTunes for a discounted amount for the remainder of this week until Friday. It's only $4.99 if you pre-order on iTunes. But otherwise, thank you very, very much for having us. It's
Yeah,
absolute
and
pleasure.
thanks. Yeah, for keeping us going, guys. And let's meet for a pint in real life as soon as we can.
You can
Definitely.
have ask us twice. I tell you that.
Yeah.
We have a great
well,
time in Wales.
we'll see. Hopefully, we'll see you at Rambling Man Fair.
Yes, we did see. That's brilliant
that's-
news, guys.
yeah.
Absolutely
Awesome,
brilliant.
yeah.
Fair play.
So it'll be a beer and in the sun.
It's what I said earlier. I think you're gonna have to drag us away from any gig.
Yeah.
We're literally gonna be holding on, going, do we have to leave yet? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah. No, that'd be
I'll bring
great.
the Beaver Town. You bring the Send the Nipa. We'll bring the Four Roses. We'll just have a backstage. Yeah, there we go.
Indeed.
There we go. Check this out as well, guys. We'll quickly see this. We forgot about this. Four
Oh,
Roses
yeah.
Auburn. Boys, quickly tell us about it.
Go,
Scott,
Adam.
you're Mr. Boost. You go.
We,
You're Mr. Boost.
Yeah, we partnered with them. They helped us with the video for Jimmy Two Times because it's gambling in a drinking den, and you drink whiskey and you play poker. So it's a great match. So yeah, we're going to do some stuff with Four Roses. They've been at Rambling Man as well. I think they'll be back. And it's great. It's great whiskey. I mean, whiskey and beer, you can't go wrong. So yeah, check out Four Roses as well if you can. So we've got all the vices going on.
I know, man.
It's all happening.
Gambling,
It's all happening.
drinking.
On CrowCast, baby.
It's a great combo, Bourbon and a great album. Boys, be proud. It's a great album. Thank you so much for joining us. And as we say
Thank
goodbye
you.
to you, lads, we're going to show an exclusive video of Coda's live performance of Jimmy Two Times at KK's Steel Mill. Boys, thank you so much.
See you later, guys. Cheers.
Cheers, guys. Speak
Thank
to you
you,
soon.
guys.
Stay
Thank you very
safe.
much.
There's a song called Jimmy Two Times.
Very well. You let a desperation where you seem to
There we go. best Coda.
Live music. It's all
Well done,
happening.
boys. Great job. Great live performance. The desk Coda. Jimmy 2 times.
Yes, Mojo Skyline out March the 26th. And as I said, head over to Eureka, pre-order it. There's still some vinyl left. Fantastic, mate. Great interview. Great catch up with the boys.
Yeah, lovely guys, man. Lovely guys, in all fairness. And yeah, it'd be great to have a beer with a professional by the sounds of it. Oh, Scott. He
Yeah,
knows it.
I know. Well, we didn't have time to get into it, but he what is the word in? Go on, you know the word in.
I believe it's Cicerone. Oh, if you're Italian, Cicerone.
Cicerone. But yes,
Cicerone.
Scott has an amazing background when it comes to beverages. So he's worked with some phenomenal companies. So he really does know his nails, like, you know. So
Yeah.
we'll put that up a bit later. Maybe we'll do the review. The Scott left us. I think I got the video clip handy, and we can check that out. But the show must go on. Shall we bring in some more guests, mate?
Pro family, you lucky bunch of so-and-sos. Please welcome the wonderful Scott and James from Mason Hill.
Hey!
Scott,
Hello. How are
how's
you?
it going, boys?
Good man. How are you?
Oh, awesome.
Not too bad. Thank you for waiting in the
No, it's
backstage. It's like being at a festival, eh? I hope you've been drinking as well.
Right in the green room back here.
That's
I mean,
great.
you know.
Scott's in the blue room. It's good neon lights here.
Yeah,
I like that,
yeah.
brother.
I love it. I was trying to find my color. I think my color's blue. I'm not sure yet. Maybe green. Although I love
Yellow,
this.
Scott. Yellow.
Yellow. Oh yeah, yellow. Yes, yellow.
Missed it, man.
Always works. On brand. Massive congrats, boys, for anybody who's watching, listening to this down the line. The boys are currently midweek number 6 in the official charts, the official UK charts. Outstanding, boys.
We did not expect this. We did not expect this. You'll know releasing albums yourself. You know, your management gives you some sort of expectation of roughly where that's what we're hoping for. And we'll be honest, our kind of hope starting this campaign was maybe get the midweek somewhere in top 40. That would be the dream. Not end there because, you know, there's a lot of great artists and we're an independent band, you know, signed independent label, all that stuff. So we didn't have the biggest, you know, expectations of it. It was just time to show the world the album, essentially. But waking up to that news, it took me like 9 hours for it to sink in. And I'm just like, what is this?
Specific.
James?
9 hours.
Like 9 hours and 17 minutes, and then I was like, "Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I like it."
I'm good with
Took me
it now.
6 hours.
How long did it take you, James?
6 hours.
6.
Six.
Number 6. Yeah, no, honestly, man, truly, yeah, exactly what Scott said. It's like, I mean, yeah, management were like that. We can only hope for like midweek top 40, and we're all having our own. I mean, we've got like other group chats for when we arrange rehearsals and things like that. So we're all in the other group chat like, I mean, top 100 would be good. Like if we can get in that. And then it came out like top 6. And I don't know. I mean, I think yesterday I definitely had a headache because like social media was just going mental. I and the guys were just like trying to keep up with it. And I don't know. I mean, what do you do like when you find out it's midweek at 6? We're instantly thinking like, all right, what do we do? Let's make videos, let's make posts. Let's quickly so we've just been hammering our social media the last few hours, really. But I mean, you know, we're not naive. It doesn't end there. Obviously, we've been trying to tell everyone it's amazing being at 6. Well, beyond amazing, but obviously it doesn't end there. We're just trying to push as much as we can to stay as high as we possibly can, I suppose. But yeah, truly exceptional, beyond words, really.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
how
can
did you
imagine
guys feel?
Well, I can imagine there's points because it just brings back so many memories. The past are similar, and there's probably points like you said, you're hammering the socials, you're doing your videos, you're trying to have a drink, your family are ecstatic, and there's a point where your phone is in your hand and you're so tired you realize it's still in your hand. And that has probably happened to you boys, because I know me and Shane used to laugh about it. Almost you're going to bed and you're like, fucking just put it down, like, do you know what I mean? Because it's glowing, but you've even gone past the point where you've stopped checking it. You're just like still holding your hand and you're in this disbelief of what's going on, like, you know? So
Totally.
It's insane because you don't like. There's always a post you've missed to like or respond to, and you feel awful if you don't catch it. And you,
Oh no,
like,
definitely. I think that's what causes the headache a bit, because I don't want, like, I'm always trying to. I mean, I think I respond to everyone most of the time, but because the last few days has been quite sort of mental, there are some people that maybe we've accidentally missed or whatever, and I think the headache comes of trying to go back. Like replying 4 days ago, 5 days ago, and we're just trying to stay on as much as we possibly can for the reason of worrying of that's rude. That's rude, guys. You need to go back a week.
I love the disclaimer. I think I was exactly the same. I know Shane as well, and probably you're the same. You always put "I think" because you're worried about that one person now who's kind of going, "Well, he didn't like my post." I didn't, because I know what you mean. You don't want to leave anybody out. You're so grateful. Because we know what it's like. You're in a band, you're battling away, you're playing every venue you can, you're screaming to get this record out, and then it's out, and then you just want to thank everybody for putting you where you are. But you know it's not over. So I completely echo what you say. I know what you mean. It's even now you're probably thinking, right, this is brilliant, and then when you get off here, I know you'll be doing more work and more work and more work, and then it's mad. Like it is mad. It is mad. But you have to enjoy it as well, boys. You have to enjoy it as well, like.
For sure.
That's an important thing to remember. You're correct, you know, because you can get caught up in it all. Just work, right? Next video to edit, whatever it is. And you're right. You got to sit back and just have a moment. You know, it's been a long time. It's been 6-7 years, and it's, you know, with that comes a lot of kind of insecurities and doubt. You know, when like you pack the bands up, you go halfway across the country and you play to 20 people, although those 20 people are the nicest damn people in the world. You know, it's like it was a lot of that for a few years, and just to see what's happened recently has just been unbelievably stupendous. And I remember seeing it with you guys, you know, in Wagons and Stonebroken, and it's just it's a pleasure to be doing something sort of similar-esque in a way.
It's quite difficult to describe, because you put your heart and soul into something to create an album first. Or say you could almost argue that, like you just said there, Scott, you're going around the country playing these shows to hardly anybody. Then you create a fan base. Then you go because you're good at what you do on stage. Then you go and put everything you've got into an album, and then people buy it. And then there's that week of, oh, right, we're going to get it charted. Like the Dust Coda now, your record's out. The Dust Coda are waiting. There's so many of these stages mentally that are like really tough. And I don't think, unless you're in it, you can't really describe it. And you hope it goes well. And then if it surpasses your expectations, it's just an overwhelming euphoric feeling. It's just, wow, people out there have got what we do. It's like, it's such a buzz. So I'm completely with you, but it's brought back memories. Ronnie just saying there now, like number 6. It was like, I just want to get wrecked now, to be honest.
Well, yeah. Well, it's not just that, it's the camaraderie with you, because you're all brothers. You go through everything in that van, argue, whatever you do is in the van, it's in your church. And it's like, even when it was happening, like exactly the same as you guys, you're almost like messaging each other private going, we're in the top 40. We're a top 40 band. And then you have a panic again, because you feel like you've been winded and go, but we could lose all that next week. We could lose all that and it's like that emotion.
It's a roller coaster.
It's so
I almost wish like I wish the midweek was maybe secret and you find out after.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's almost like a temp's fate. It goes, oh, look where you are. It's almost Jim Bowen on Bullseye. Let's have a look at what they could have won. And then take the speedboat away. Take it away.
I know. I mean, literally, I was looking at it today, and I'm looking at who's like where and stuff, and I'm seeing this girl's name, something Lawson. I mean, I say that like she's nothing. She's like some massive artist, and she was like, I think. Where is she? Maybe 11 or something, wherever. But I know that literally at the start of the week, she was on like Good Morning Britain and all the big channels having interviews, and I'm thinking, yeah, we're 6 right now, but you're gonna get there, aren't you? You're gonna pass us. You're gonna take that lovely little spot we've got, unless everyone gets behind it. But yeah, you know what I mean. It's like, yeah, you see these huge artists and stuff.
I mean, it taught us, because at one point, like, obviously we had like I think there was Green Day went straight to 1, so we were like, well, fucking 1 is gone, innit? 1 is gone. And then
Kings of Leon.
yeah. So you're like, right, 1 is gone. Selfish buggers, they've had enough. And then you look at number 2, and I think it was like, I don't know, Lewis Capaldi or whatever. We were like, bastard. Okay, that's 2 gone. And then we went in at 3. We went in at 3, then went to 6 midweek. So when they told us that fact, we were like, no, because you kind of don't want to know, because then you do start looking around, James. You're so right, buddy. You start looking around, and I'm going, Stormzy. My boy's like,
I know. I think the one that got me, there was 2. When I was looking at it, I was like, oh my god, this is crazy. Talking to family, friends, and then I'm like, yeah. So who's there? Ed Sheeran. Oh, The Weeknd, who just did the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Awesome. But you know what? It's still awesome nonetheless. It's still amazing, and
it's so cool to be there.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Be proud,
So
man.
cool.
It's a great achievement. And like you said, if everybody kind of buys the album, let's see where it goes. But you obviously super proud of it, yeah, the whole songwriting side of things. And
yeah, I mean, this album is like, it's unique from other albums because it's like 7 years of our life. It's like it's not every day an album takes 7 years to make, and how it evolves. But there's still, there's still some parts of the album that are from the first year, and some parts from the 7th year, and you're like,
parts from high school.
Some parts from high school, and you're like, we'll never probably be able to write an album like this again in that sense, because it's we're now going to go into the routine, the band's routine, where maybe an album's maybe 3 odd years of your life sort of cycle and moving on, which is still great. It will actually bring the other side of our writing out in that sense. But yeah, I mean, it's quite emotional to finally, like, it's like we're sealing off, once Friday hits and the chart week's over, it's almost sealing off that album and going into new territory, which is mind blowing.
I do love talking about songwriting and stuff with other bands and songwriters, because, like you just said there, James, like, what was it, high school or 7 years ago? A good song's a good song. We keep saying that on every CrowCast, but it is one of the rare things, like in the career, you can write something 10 years ago and it can still stand its time now, like that's testament to how good the song is. I don't think that happens in many sort of lines of work. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's stand that's dated. You can spin it, you can twist it, you can, if the content of the song is good. So taking that on board, what are the songs that I don't know which one wrote it back all those years ago? It obviously evolved then when you brought it to the table with the boys, yeah, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's been so weird because, like, there's not many from when we were in high school. There's like 2, I think, if I'm right, Scott. Out of Reach and Where I Belong are from way back. So yeah, they were a certain way for so long, and then when it came down to actually, right, we're going to make an album now, we're actually going to record it, I think we just went back through it, and this time we had like a band. So, like, I mean, back in high school it was just me and Scott, but now making an album, you've got a band, you've got all the guys, got Mark, Matthew and Craig. So it's like we just send all these things, we talk about the ideas, and it just slowly, I think we've maybe like made 5 or 6 versions of them. Not that they completely change, just in the sense that we're like, oh, but this bit could just smooth it out a little bit, change that word, It's just little things happened, and through time, I mean, a lot of people have noticed changes in Out of Reach in particular, because go on YouTube right now and search for it. You'll see us playing it in like 2015 with hair down to our ass, and yeah, it's different. But I think, I mean, I hope we've definitely made these improvements for the better. I mean, we're definitely happy with it. Like, I think listening back to it, I don't think I or the guys would change anything on it. And it's all subjective, of course, but I think I think we went as far as we possibly could with the improvements we could make at this level of our songwriting so far. I mean, hopefully we'll top it on album 2, but this is where we are right now in terms of the songs and what we could do to them.
So when you guys were writing songs, when you all kind of added your parts and stuff, and then went into the studio, and then it changed again with producers and stuff, or?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it did. I went to New York to record during lockdown, and that is when, you know, Shane, I don't know too much about like your singing history and stuff, but up until that moment, I was what you would call like natural singer. I hadn't really looked too much into the actual art of singing, and you know, maybe how to sing correctly and how to get the most out of my voice. And I learned, you know, things like keys. I was singing in the wrong key, for instance, the whole time for years, which would explain, which explains why, you know, it shows I would struggle so much, but I would put so much energy in. But at the end of the show, I'd be dead. My voice was gone. But we brought, you know, the producer Brian just kind of showed me this kind of way, and you know, we figured out like different jaw positions for me to sing in, and realized that I've got a tiny speech impediment. Like I struggle with a few words, like, you know, THs and stuff and Fs. So kind of went through some of those kind of words, maybe changed them around to try and kind of, you know, obviously not highlight that too much. And it was a massive learning experience that I could never ever be more thankful for. See, I said thankful instead of thankful.
I think it's true though. Like these, you know, it starts as like maybe a riff on a guitar, and then it ends up in like some singing on it, and you get a draft, and then you rehearse it with the band. The band's solid, and you go into the studio, and still maybe one or two things can change. And that's what happened with us. The odd little bit, you know, some things were created there and then. Where It Belonged, the outro guitar solo, I will remember that just came out of nowhere, and then. Again, when Scott then went to do vocals, so it kind of each little step, something happened, and it's cool to see. I mean, we are inexperienced to that because this is the first album, so we've got no experience of recording an album. So yeah, it's interesting to know going forward with songwriting, knowing that what we think is it and what we're about to go in and now record probably isn't. There's going to be new things added. Scott's no doubt going to do what he did with this album, which. Honestly, I swear to God, the vocals we thought were awesome, and they were awesome. But then when Scott managed to just learn some new things and do it again, it just came back like I was gobsmacked personally. Yeah. Because I'm a fan of it, so I was super blown away, and I think the vocals are class on this album. As they are yours, Shane. I'm a big fan of your voice.
Agreed. It's cool. No, it's good. They are very good, Scott, bro. Fair play to you. Hats off, brother. Great.
Thank you. It's so nice to hear that from yourself, because I am a massive fan. Because I would say you're one of the top singers around here by far, definitely. And I don't think anyone can really argue that, to be honest.
Bloody hell. That was lovely. Thank you so much.
No, it's just true.
Good night. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Back to the green.
That's us.
Yeah. No, thank you, bro. That's wonderful to say. That's really nice. But everything with this band, boys, it didn't feel like a debut album, to be honest. I mean, we were fortunate to hear it. It didn't feel like a debut album. It sounded like an established band that's been on the road. It was polished. It had the riffs and the grooves and a killer vocal. It was like tick, tick, tick. Bro, honestly,
thanks very much. we never know. I think we sometimes sit when, like, I mean, thanks so much. We sometimes never know what to say, because we've been with these songs and for so long and trying to work on them and stuff. So then to finally have it here, it's kind of like, have we got it out? Is it out now?
Yeah,
it still feels The
mixer, Chris Sheldon, he was like, there was a few parts in the album process where it was like step up a level, where, for instance, like going away and doing the vocals. I'm not the biggest fan of listening to myself. I think it's just something that it just happens with everyone. But even I coming back, I was happy to listen to the vocals. The next step of that was Chris Sheldon. with getting some of these mixes back. And yeah, I'm a bit naive in that side of the music business and recording and mixing and mastering, and I hadn't really properly realized the potential and the difference that can be made. And he done astounding work, and it was just a privilege to work with him. Anyone that's like worked with Foo Fighters and stuff like that, like count me in. I want to hear what they can do. He was absolutely extraordinary. Did not expect that.
So where was the record recorded all together then, guys? Was it parts here and there, or was it all in one place with one producer, or?
Yeah, well, it was recorded in Riverside in Glasgow, so that's on our doorstep. So the music was all done there, and then Scott went and did vocals in New York, and then mixed with Chris Sheldon. I will, by the way, mention that the intro track was done in this room, in my little bedroom, because there was a bit of an error. An error occurred during the process of the album, and we were expecting that intro to be like, right, we'll just record acoustic guitars on it, and we'll have vocals on it. So we did to it, and the rest we'll throw it all in, and that would come because we had someone that was going to do it, and then that someone wasn't able to do it, so we're like, fuck. So then we were like, right, but we can't just leave it the way it is. That's not an intro to an album. So yeah, we just pulled out some stuff, and Craig as well, drummer of the band, helped me big time, and just put it together and used stuff on Pro Tools and that, and we just tried to make some sort of...
Bro, I absolutely love that, right? Because when I've on this album here, I've got, the songs I think are my favorites and stuff, and what for, and that was one of them. The intro.
But Reborn?
Yeah.
The
intro, I don't know, it just made me feel something, and I kind of wanted it to be a full-blown track. And I think the song on a Foo Fighters album, what was it? Where they done the same. They did this little intro, and I wanted it to be a full-blown track.
Yeah, they got to feel like they're buggers for that. Yeah.
And now you're saying it was done in your bedroom. I love that.
Well, only the bits like strings and stuff. Like obviously,
James, it was done in your bedroom. Keep that story.
It was that was always part of a song. That was always part of No Regret or Broken Sun. I can't remember. It's one of the two in the live set. So I would come out, we'd start that. But we just felt like, I don't know, we just felt like we just wanted to be one of those artsy fancy bands that have an intro, like we like the intro idea. We thought, it's been 7 years, let's make people wait another 90 seconds, like you've got it, let's make them wait that extra night. There you go.
Disclaimer, send complaints to Scott. Oh, that way.
Classic. So I asked the Coda boys, what's your favorite song on the record, boys?
It's
let someone else go first.
It's always going to be Where I Belong for me. Just the touch, kind of the personal touch there. Wrote at a horrible time in my life when I was a teenager, and from one of the lowest points, Kate has given me the highest points in my life when, and you guys will know this as well because you've got some cracking emotional heartstringers. When an audience sings your song to you, it's just one of the best feelings on the planet, especially in horrible clubs, because then they take over the microphone and you can't even hear yourself, and it's just a crowd going, and so I just find it so bloody ironic that the lowest point gives me the highest points in my life. So that's got to be my favorite every time I listen to it. I think of that.
I was really pleased to hear that type of song on the album, to be honest, because I'm a big lover of the highs and lows thing on a record, a journey. Do you know what I mean? And it was, and even the placement of it on the album, because I've actually got that down as one of my favorite songs on the album. So it's mad you've picked two there that I've gone, yes, that's why I agree. Not that it means anything. I'm just saying that came across, bud, Scott, the emotion and stuff in that track. So what about you, James?
I mean, yeah, Scott, you're able to just say one, and I struggle because it's just I can think of something for all of them. I really can. I can remember aspects about them. I remember me and Scott getting together, and my little bedroom back before I had my own flat, and we used to sit in there with my room crammed together with my whole life in it, and try and make these things, you know. And we'd go outside in the close, and we'd talk about them, excited, thinking, "Oh, how cool was that?" And when we're going to get on stage and do that, you know, I remember those times, and it's hard to pick for that. But I guess with that being said, I would maybe at the moment, I change it all the time, by the way, but at the moment, I think I would say Out of Reach. And the reason for that is because, I've got memories of us being in high school, and when Scott had his first flat as well, we went there when we were like 16 or something crazy like that. And just remember the feeling of making these tunes and having no audience at that point, you know, no one. And it was just us, and just knowing now that people love it is just such a amazing sort of circle. And I'll take Out of Reach for that reason.
Sweet, love that. There's some banging riffs on here too, bud. Fair play to you. I've got two on your app that I love. Hold On, favorite riff I've put, and Find My Way.
Yeah, Find My Way.
The riff at the start, meaty, love it.
Yeah,
Explain that one.
Definitely. What was that, Scott?
Explain that one, because I love that riff.
What
was
riff?
that riff always on Finds My Way? Did you change that? Because I love that's my favorite riff in the album.
I don't think that was ever actually changed. I think I made that one and left it as it was. The only thing that changed was the outro, because the same riff's there, but the heavy beat comes in, which is always a favorite moment playing it live. So it only lasts for about 10 seconds or something, but that's one of the best 10 seconds of the set, because you see everyone's head suddenly like fast. It's a fast song, like do, and then towards the end, then they all go, "Oh, okay," like that. So, that's good to see.
Yeah. Best 10 seconds of your life. I had a relationship like that once. Anyway, no, I didn't.
That's a quote.
Yeah, that's what she said. Anyway, yeah.
Ooh.
So how did you boys get into music? Where did it all start? Let's start with you, James. What was the artist band that got you picking up the guitar, bud?
I mean, my brother had a guitar first, and I was jealous because I had a drum kit. So I was about 8 or something, and I wanted a guitar just to spite him. So I then got a guitar, but I think it started mainly because of seeing Eddie Van Halen on TV doing Jump. And I know there's not much guitar in that, which is a strange song to choose, but I just remember like the colored guitar and the dance moves and the spins and the kicks and all that stuff. And I was just like really into that as a kid. And my parents were always super, super into to rock and metal and all that stuff. So Eddie Van Halen is what started it off for me. And then at 9, got my guitar, started on Jingle Bells, and then did my first gig in my primary school doing like the Christmas play.
Yeah.
And then I just started learning Slash and Zakk Wylde and Doug Aldridge and just all these bands like Ozzy and just big bands that I loved, and I've just never stopped, really.
Jingle Bells is probably the most rock and roll Christmas song, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you're going to pick a Christmas
definitely.
song, Jingle Bells is the rock and roll one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it says bells at the end, you know, so Metallica, obviously.
Exactly. Love that, man. What about you, Scott?
So yeah, I was a wannabe guitar player, to be honest. I think in my teenage years I wasn't really a singer. I never thought about it. Maybe sing in the shower. That'd be about it. I was in love with X Factor and pop music, so probably wasn't the best person for that sort of job. But no, I was the guitar player with James because we met at school, maybe second year in music class, and I liked keys and I liked guitar. But you know, we were in a few bands over the years, and there was never a singer. You know, if you think back to school, what was there never any of? There was never any drummers, singers, and a few bass players. Everyone wanted to be a guitar player.
And friends.
yeah, that's about right. So I had started really getting into a wee bit of heavy death metal around 15, 16, but we got to 5th year in school and we had to do sound production, and it was a cool thing for the music class. You could either go and do musical performance or you could go do sound production, where basically your year's target was make 2 songs, just do 2 covers. And James heard me do, I think it was Rain Wizard, Blackstone Cherry, which one of my favorite songs, but he heard me do it at some point somewhere, and he wanted me to sing for him on his project. Well, that was one of his songs, if I'm correct in saying. And
It was Thin Lizzy.
What was it, Thin Lizzy?
Yeah.
Cold Sweat?
No, it was Dancing in the Moonlight.
Dancing in the Moonlight. Oh my God.
Which is when we were in high school playing metal together, because I was also into death metal and Lamb of God and all that stuff in high school, still am. And Scott was screaming. And then at some point Scott sang like Rain Wizard or something, and I was like, that was nice. Can we sing Thin Lizzy for my school track or something?
Yeah.
And then
and then James kind of just hammered in that fact. And it doesn't take a lot to convince someone to not be a screamer, because it's a very hard thing to do. And it's like, do you not want to do that every night, and would you rather sing melody? It's like, oh, fuck yeah, let's do that. And it kind of just began like that. And I felt like for the last kind of 5 years, maybe in the last 2 years, it's changed, that I was kind of just the only guy here for the part, if you know what I mean. But now I guess I'm that singer. I dropped the guitar, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me. Was I stopped trying to play guitar and sing at the same time. I got to go into that, your biggest fear of not having anything to hide behind, do those 10 shows that were awful, not knowing what to do with my hands, and now get to a point where I can just do it very comfortably. And having something to do is now the problem. Like if I have a guitar, I'm like, what do I do now? I can just like to be that guy now that just walks about with my wireless mic.
Yeah. Why do you think I'm always on balconies, dude? It's just something to do.
Exactly.
If there's a balcony in a venue, I'm up on that. It's just something to do.
I've had a few scares though. I've had a few near leg breakers, because you're probably the same. You jump on the speakers. Do you ever get on the speakers? Yeah. It's one of these days. It's going to bite me in the ass.
I fell off the stage once as well. I fell off the stage right before going on when we were supporting Dan Reed behind the curtain. I put my foot down, and there was just a hole, so I fell through the hole. Nearly broke my leg, smashed my guitar off the wall, and then we were on about 20 seconds later, and I was limping, and it was. I don't remember, to be honest. I just remember people telling me to smile like they always do, but I'm like, I'm in pain, motherfucker. But yeah.
We did a show in the early days. Have you played in Wales a place called Club Iverbach?
No,
I don't think so.
Bit of a mouthful, but you'll know it when you play there anyway. So we played this show back in the day, and Shane jumped off a box but landed straight on one of my cymbal stands. So his foot literally, it was your full ankle, wasn't it, on the leg of the cymbal stand? Because it's one of those shows where I think it was us. We supported then it was the Amorettes, then it was the Treatment. And, you're on a tiny stage as it is. And then obviously, there's 2 drum kits on a tiny stage. So I just remember Shane just turning and his ankle just went. And he was like, I just remember mid-song, he's like, fuck my ankle. And he carried on. Because, it's like on stage, you've got a different language to the crowd. You look at each other and you're like, fuck it. But no one knows, like. And then afterwards, his ankle's like, and I was like, you'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Come on, let's go for a beer. Next day, he's in fucking hospital. He proper done it, didn't he?
Yeah, Lloyd is watching backstage, and he's putting a private chat. I think I've done a Dave Grohl, and I remember saying that. Like, I remember the face to Ronnie, because I'm got my back to the crowd, and I'm going, fuck, I think I broke my ankle. And then I said to the crowd, because I'm not moving now like I did before the songs. I think I've done a fucking Dave Grohl. And then, like Ronnie said, then, you'll be all right. And I was like, yeah, I'll be all right. We went out on the piss end all night, didn't we, in Cardiff?
Yeah.
And then was in hospital then the day after I'm gonna,
I used to live in Wales, by the way, when I was about 4, I think. I think I was about
Did you?
4. I had a Welsh accent. Yep, had a Welsh accent. Had a lot. I lived in Pontypridd.
That's just down the road.
You
Yeah.
Just down
say it
the road.
again. Say it
I mean,
again.
I'm saying it wrong. Is it Pontypridd? No.
Nearly. The two
Nearly.
D's at the
Pontypridd?
end
Oh,
is Pontypridd. It's a TH.
uh,
Scott, you know that lesson you learned in New York? Yeah.
I mean, it was quite a while ago. Quite a while ago.
You were very close for it. Pontypridd.
I'll need to find out what the school was I went to and all that stuff. Unless it's that bad that it doesn't exist anymore. I don't know.
It's not. I mean, it's not far from us. The weird things with schools around here, they're knocking them all down and building super schools. So it's kind of like I've turned into my dad, where it's like I used to go to school there, and it's like he's gone, and like my kids are like he's ancient. So it's like,
Getting to that spot as well. I was in my hometown the other day, and I was like, oh my gosh, this has all changed. It's all
Yeah.
changed. It's like it's so different, and you're like, oh my god, am I just old now? Are we those people that when we were kids were like, oh, I remember there used to be a pub here, and my dad every time, oh yeah, there used to be a pub. I'm saying that now. This used to be. What's happening?
so
How come you lived in Wales, James? Sorry, to go back to that.
I mean, like, I'm from England. Boo, no offense. No, of course, I'm from England, but I get stick, obviously, because the band's all Scottish. And my dad did, like, this graphics design and stuff, and we ended up in Wales, and then we went back to England, and then I ended up in Glasgow. So I've been in Glasgow for, like, the last 13, 14 years. So pretty much my entire teenage life. I moved when I was, like, 13. So it's my whole teenage and adult life. So I do just class myself as being from here, although I was obviously born in England, but my life is here. So it's odd. It's odd because I mean, I always ask people, well, usually people tell me, but my accent probably sounds a bit strange, maybe, because some people ask me where I'm from because I don't sound English, or I do sound English, or I sound muffed, or I don't know. It's what it is.
no, I didn't want to ask that earlier. Like when we did the
What's
the
wrong
mic
with your
check,
voice?
I was like, well, I thought it was me, and I thought it's the amount of leapers maybe I've had, but I was like, he doesn't sound Scottish. Or is he from like a Scottish village where it's quite a clean? No, because there is
Born
like
in the garden.
we love Scotland. We've always said that on here. We absolutely love Scotland. But there are different parts where it's stronger. Same as Wales, valleys and towns, etc. The accent gets stronger. Same as all across England. There's different languages. But I didn't know whether you had like more of a cleaner Scottish accent. So I've been trying to kind of pick it out. But no, you know, it's a journey, dude. We all end up in different places, don't we?
Hey, do you know what? It's been great because, like, I have this sort of heartfelt feeling towards it because this is where, obviously, I met Scott. We started the band. If not for that precise moment of coming to Glasgow when I did, and being put into Scott's music class, you know. So there you go.
But what age do you pick up the guitar?
At 9.
Were you in Wales at that time?
No, definitely not. No, I think I was about.
You could have claimed you, N.
Yeah, I'm going to claim it.
Yeah.
Welsh guitar extraordinaire, James Bird. He's not Scottish, he's Welsh.
Yep. Okay. Never mind then. What about your dad?
So was the last show you played Winter's End, boys, or did you manage to do anything after that, or were you the same as us? And
We done the Planet Rock the Asylum. That was the only other show that we done, but that was the no audience show, which was so weird but so cool. But no, the last time we see an audience was with you guys. You know, Winter's End.
Yeah.
It was. We just didn't know, did we, guys? We didn't know.
no,
We were all happy.
Do you know, this is a perfect opportunity. Can't speak. Opportunity. It's not water. It's a strong gin. It's a great chance for me to finally actually say something as well, because you guys were headlining that, which was a blinder of a set, and we had flown down from Glasgow because it was just such a long journey, man, to get there. So we're like, all right, it's one night. Let's just fly down. We'll pack all our stuff into like little bags and stuff. And so we never took like pedal boards and things like that. And we got into the lodge, as you say, in the caravan type stuff. And I went into the kitchen and I pulled out a kitchen tray, like for the oven, and put all my pedals on that. And then we went onto stage with that. And you guys walked on after and probably looked and thought, what the fuck is this kid on with? And I'm walking off with a pedal board made of a kitchen tray. So I just needed to say that that's not the norm for us. Okay, carry on.
No, I just remember enjoying it. It was like you were a different band to what I'd seen in Steelhouse, because it was like it was just a different vibe. You could tell everything. But I know you had some technical. I think there was like a few technical things. I just remember I love it because you're as passionate as us. So where some people come off the stage and they're like, "Oh, hello, darling, what an amazing show that was." You're like us, where you're like, "Fucking hell, that couldn't have gone any fucking worse." So there's no like high fives and yeah, wicked guys, great job. You're straight in there going, that went fucking wrong. That should have gone right.
I think it was. I think we had tried for the first time some wireless. Well, no, it wasn't the first time, but I know I had just bought a new wireless system. And we went down. We're like, can't wait to try this out. It's a big stage. It's going to be awesome. Maybe we'll run off to the other side. Blah blah blah. And the one thing we forgot to do was let the sound guys know the channels and all that stuff. So. First set, like Scott came into my ear and was like, "Yeah, your guitar's cutting off. So can you fix it?" So I'm like, I mean, I don't think I heard you the first time, Scott. I think you had to tell me a few times.
Yeah, well, this was like I've just gotten into in-ears in stage, and I'm now having the pleasant but unpleasant experience of hearing the band in my ears. So if anything goes wrong, it's horrible. Yeah. So I had James, so it's like James coming in and out, and then doing that, and I'm like, oh my goodness, he has to stop. He has to stop and fix this thing, and then you need to go tell him. So it's great to have it, but it really throws you off, and you got to keep going with the show and all that, because at the end of the day, like, the best way to get through technical problems is just to laugh it off and have fun with it. Otherwise, there's no point getting angry about it. And that's what you can talk about after the show. Is at least we had a good laugh, boys. You know, that was rife with problems, but it was so much fun at the same time. So it was a weird one, and then getting to sit back up in the kind of balcony bit and have a drink and relax and see you guys do like a headline set, because I know as a band, being asked to do like a headline set is a different requirement from just your normal run of the mill show. You're going to have bigger props, you're going to have a lot more pressure on you. So it's amazing to see it, and you bloody nailed it. It's not easy. It's not every band can do that.
We probably spoke a few times after your set too, very drunk at that point. So again, I'll just apologise for anything that may or may not.
I remember the conversation that me and James had, but it's not for CrowCast.
Yes.
No, it was great, boys. It was such a great atmosphere. I feel your pain with the in-ears. We just come off a tour, kind of getting used to having constant problems, constant adjustments. And I remember thinking, I was halfway through like playing that set, and I'm like, yeah, this is happening. Like, everything sounded great in the ear. And it's almost like, I think Shiner or it wouldn't be, no, I don't think it was Dave. It was Shiner asked for something different. And because he asked for something different, that's it then. You look across and you go, who's fucking changed that? Who's changed that? And of course, you're still playing while you're doing that. So you're like looking around going, my in-ears have changed. Has anyone else's in-ears have changed? You're doing the eye thing. Looking. And then like halfway through the set, I remember thinking, oh no, my sound's going weird. And it felt like I was underwater. And that's obviously, I meant to put like Vaseline, or someone said a tip afterwards, because my ears had got so wet that it was getting, so it was like opening and closing. Do you know what I mean? So it was sounding a bit whirly, but best thing I did, only because of the moment, as they say, took them out and bump, you could hear the crowd, and I was just like, oh fuck. And then it was at that point, I nearly fell off the stage, because I just remember kind of going, whoa, it's just the excitement. It was such a great night. And watching you boys, you were smashing it. It was just such a, it was a banger, I call it, like a proper great show. Shame it was the last one, as in like with a full crowd. How did you find the streaming with that's an interesting one because we obviously did the same. How did you find that that kind of situation?
I kind of loved it. I won't lie. I couldn't have it over it. I couldn't have it over live shows, not a doubt. But I saw it. I felt the challenge. I felt like I was going to have to entertain through every good break in the songs, because the break in the songs is the hardest part, for you. And I certainly didn't do the best, but I was happy with it, and I thought that's a cool challenge. And I thought if getting used to this will come in handy in the future, getting used to.
The only thing I would say on it is, you go and do the gigs, and it's cool. But one of the things that you kind of go to do as well is that we make music and we play music and we do them at shows because it involves people. So after each song, to then, be like, oh yeah, this is cool. Like those 10 seconds, Shane, that I mentioned off the end of that riff. You're like, oh, all right, cool. Riff, and song's done. What do you think? No one's there.
Yeah.
That was kind of shite, that was the downfall to that. But it's nonetheless, it was still cool to do. Definitely pretty surreal to do it. But I think it can never replace an actual gig, I don't think.
Yeah, it was a bit War of the Worlds, we said, or it was just a bit bizarre because like you said, you do the big crescendo, bang, and then it's silent, and you can just see little red lights in the distance. Like, you know what I mean? It was bizarre. I mean, it was a brilliant start for Shane. He came out. He didn't read the rules. The first thing he does is he come out and we do our fucking signature with those damn crows, and he's like, "Are you fucking ready?" And then he's like, "You're not supposed to sway."
I didn't know that, but then we come off and John Norman was like, "Well, did you read the contract?" I was like, "No." There's no. I was like, literally 10 seconds. You said about 10 seconds, James, on stage. First 10 seconds. Yeah, I really fucked up.
But hey, the good stories don't come from the people that follow the rules. The rule breakers make the good stories. There you go. That's my sort of quote for the night.
Wise words, brother. I love that.
Thank you.
I always say that now. James told me. I went break rules. No, James told me.
Please do. Take it with you.
So let's talk about stories then. What's the funniest thing that's happened on tour with the boys? Anything that's kind of jumps out you're allowed to tell us?
France.
He's already there. Boom. Tell us.
We always talk about France because we were lucky enough to we got asked to go and play. Was the place called Montalivet, Scott? Is that
it was close. It was very close. Montalivet.
Montalivet.
It's TH. You're not getting the TH.
So yeah, I think Stonebroken had done it, Bad Touch had done it, and so we've obviously somewhere came into the sort of sight of these folks, and it was like a biker festival in the south of France, right on the coast by the sea and everything. And we went over there, was just to be like abroad doing a gig. It's the first time for, maybe not for Matthew, but for the rest of us, it was the first time to go abroad and do a show. And then we turned up, picked up by the French folks, and then we drive down towards the venue, and then we get there, and it's a biker festival. So there's like Harleys, there's choppers, there's leather jackets, there's just rock fans everywhere, and it's awesome. We're just walking about, bonjour. Like, obviously we're not great at French, so we get there, and the stage is huge. There's like 2 screens. It was like a mini download or something, and there's a catwalk. Scott straight away like, catwalk, I'm going down that. So we're just buzzed, man. We were just absolutely buzzed to be there. So everything happened. Scott got hit by a firework at the end of the show because the fireworks went off. Scott got hit by one, burnt a hole right in his jacket. That was
right. So I had a jumper on, and it burned a hole through my hood, so it's came. There was no fences or anything. We were like 40 meters away. They just started a firework display backstage. Yay. And honestly, I shit myself, and I was running away and the jumper off. And honestly, yeah, James was right. few inches right hole through my
Should have been
jumper.
very much a
the
not.
face.
Yeah, totally. And then the band would have been ruined. But no, we were there. We had to. That was a Saturday night. We couldn't get a flight back till the Monday, so the festival was on for the Sunday too. So we stuck around, and then Craig, of all people in the band who doesn't really drink, said, "Do you want to go get a pint?" So we were all like, "Yes, okay." So that pint turned into a walk down to the beach, stopping off at every bar, getting to the end, seeing the ocean, and seeing some people that had seen us the night before that then started translating for us, and we were just getting hammered. And then I think Craig got punched by a bouncer. Mark went missing. We witnessed a car crash as well. We were trying to walk back because this is way too late in the night. The night was done, and we middle of south of France, and then just suddenly we're like, Matthew's on the floor, Craig's shouting at him to get up, to man the fuck up is what I think he said. Trying to get him up, and then all of a sudden we hear screeching, and then this car just comes out of nowhere, jumps over a roundabout, crashes into a pole. The people got out and ran away, and we're just looking at each other like, is this happening? Matthew shoots up. Yeah, it was just a great time. It was a great time. We get back. Scott walks back to the caravan, which has blood all over the floor, and we're all like, "Where's the blood came from?" Because none of us are bleeding. Or was it Scott? I don't know. It was just awesome. But maybe we don't have enough time to go through it, so maybe you guys can share some stories of yours.
There we go. That's brilliant. We should definitely go on tour because, well, it just sounds epic, to be honest.
That's how good would that be?
Boys, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Congratulations on the album, boys.
Yes. Super proud. It's amazing.
Thank you so much.
Honestly, it's really good.
Mason Hill Against the Wall is out now, guys. It's a great record. If you want to hear good music, go and get it now and help these boys in the charts. Outstanding. There it is. www.masonhillofficial.com.
Oh,
thanks for having us, guys.
Honestly, it's been so cool to be among so many esteemed guests that you've had on this podcast. It's been well done to you guys, and thank you so much for having us.
No problem, man. Pleasure. And honestly, boys, enjoy the moment. Enjoy the sleepless nights now for the next couple of days. We're behind you. The whole rock community is behind you, and genuinely can't wait to grab you for a beer now. Next time we get together, make sure you don't have to dash off, the same as us, and we'll have a proper beer and a proper hookup, like, you know.
And James will be speaking Welsh by the end of it, son.
That is the task, you know that now. We're genuinely going to get you with the Welsh accent by the end of the night.
No problem. Let's do it.
Before you go, boys, we got a single here that you kindly give us to show. Who We Are. Do you want to tell us how this was recorded and stuff, or?
Yeah, James.
I mean, we're a heavy rock band, but we also love a ballad, which Where I Belong shows. And Who We Are was just another song that started. It's the first one I ever attempted to do in terms of vocals. I can't sing for shit, but Scott can, thank God. And it just came off really nice. And the whole point behind it is, as I've said to many people already, positivity. As I've said before, COVID is shit. We all hate it. And hopefully this song is why we chose it as well. Could just give a little bit of a nice positive feeling, and looking forward to the good times coming back again.
There we go. Perfectly put. Scott, James, thank you so much, boys. Crow family, this is Who We Are by Mason Hill.
All my life I've been scared that I lost my way. Let me try to figure this out before you just run away from what we're looking for. Can we keep moving on? just run away from what we're looking for? Can we keep moving on? Walk down this road away from the dark. Show them who you are. Overcome fear, it's who we are. Nothing's gonna change. Walk down this road away from the dark. Overcome fear, it's who we are. Walk down this road away from the dark. Show them who you are. Overcome fear, it's who we are. It's who we are. Walk down this road away from the dark. Show them who you are. Overcome fear, it's who we are. Nothing's gonna change. Show them who you are. Nothing's gonna change. Show them who you are. Who we
Hey.
Well done,
Awesome.
lads. Well done, Scott, James, boys, Mason Hill. Great band, great boys. Good song, huh?
Yeah,
I was
Outstanding.
harmonizing then. I was
Brilliant
harmonizing.
No surprise there, but
No, that's true.
I was driving down that motorway or the highway, just thinking, yeah.
Yeah, it was lost in it. It was brilliant,
Yeah.
absolutely brilliant. Banger of an album. And fair play. It's nice to see someone else as well. Yet again, doing great, boys. It's a powerful movement at the moment. Do you know what I mean?
The
good
scene
little
is
buzz
alive
around
and
him at the minute,
kicking,
isn't
man.
it?
Yeah, what was that, Dave? Go on.
Good little buzz around him at the minute.
Yeah, man. I mean, around the whole scene, Dust Coda boys, brilliant, great journey, great stories, but there, how they got to where they are, especially in this climate, and then to have the Mason Hill boys on. Like I said, we've shared a few stages with them. I'm sure there's going to be more, and I can't wait to catch them for a beer as well. Now, both bands, brilliant, and like I said, the rock community is just awesome at the moment, isn't it, Lloyd?
Oh man, it's just off the hook. I mean, wherever you look, I mean, you only got to look on social media every day, and it's just the fans, the bands, is just something for everyone. It hasn't been like this for years, and it's just so alive and kicking. I mean, and it's so nice to be a part of it as well, So, I feel privileged. Happy days.
It kind of reminds me of like we've spoken about on this podcast before about the scene 10 years ago that we were part of, 20 years ago that we were part of. It feels like there's that scene again. Like there's a scene that's coming through, and it's like hitting the charts, and there's so many good bands and like young bands, older bands, there's a big mixture, and just feels like a proper
It's an
Something's happening,
amazing
you know?
community,
That's what it
bro.
feels like to me.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like we've been at this now, what, 6 years, is it? I mean, and just to see that, like, how it's grown and how everybody's, it's just a community and the friendship which are formed and just everything, man. It's just everybody's love for rock and roll. It brings everybody together, and you know, it's such a nice thing.
Yeah, definitely. But I remember seeing, like, when we were having interviews and they were saying, "Oh, this new scene." I was like, "Yeah, the bands are definitely have gone up a level, I think." But I think it's the fans. The fans wanted to
Yeah.
hear new music. That was the difference. I think they weren't happy with just the big bands anymore. They were really thirsty for new rock music, and they
Well, who's going to
and it,
replace these big bands? Do you know what I mean? It's
well, exactly. But I think as much as there's this good bands out there, I think the rock fans and community almost, I don't know, manifested it. They wanted new music, and they just want to listen to everyone and anything, and went to shows that are like underground shows, and the rock community. I mean, you know, has always been underground shows and stuff. But I just think they were thirsty for new music, and we're reaping
Yeah.
the rewards now. You know, that community's grown and manifested and snowballed into what it is now. So long may it continue.
There's
definitely,
also,
definitely.
I'd say there's also a little bit of danger, but there, what you said as well, Shane, is it's brilliant that they support bands from grassroots level upwards, but it's just as important to see those bands through.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And that's, it's just probably a great point to do that, whether it's ourselves, whether it's, you know, Stonebroken have been given amazing praise. Massive Wagons have just done absolutely fantastic. But seeing that the success of like what Mason Hill are achieving, and like Scam the other day, other bands that are crafting, the Dust Coda coming through, there's Hollow Star, there's other bands. It's great to support them at the small clubs, but when they do start to rise as well, you still need that support. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not, oh, well, they're gone now, and that's it. We've lost our band. You've never lost that band. They always need your help. Like, do you know what I mean? I think that's the problem with some of the bigger bands in the scene. They've lost that connection
It is
somehow.
connection, bro. It is a connection. You're right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, and
Spot on.
it's you know, because it's a journey in it for every band. I mean, you know, if you can sell out a 50 cap venue, you've done amazing. We've, you know, we've all played to 5 people. I love that with Mason Hill. They've traveled around the country playing to 20 people, and you have to get back in a van and travel 6 hours to go back home, and you think it's an amazing gig because 20 people like your band, like, you know. But then it's just as important when you know, you start getting these bigger shows like ourselves, for example, that the fans stay with you, that they still believe in you, and they don't just think, oh, well, they don't need our help now, or they're too big for us, or
It's about staying connected with from both parties as well. You know what I mean? It's like it goes hand in hand. Then, you know.
yeah, and it just keeps that community strong because it's almost one of their own are doing really well. So whether that would be the Wagons, ourselves, Stonebroken, Mason Hill, the list goes on and on and on. You know, you don't want to leave anybody out, but that's the truth in that statement. Like, you know, you wanna see them become the next headliner of a Donington. And not because, oh, you know, Donington's the big sellout festival. Well, no, it's a massive platform for any artist. Like, do you know what I mean? So I don't know if you agree with that, Shane, or
100%. But it's, you know, you plant the seed, everyone loves it, but that continued support is everything. Otherwise, it's just temporary. And this, I think, everybody gets into music wants it to be permanent. It's like it's like what I kind of describe where I've been in my workplace and stuff. That was always the case that what my passion was, and everybody, I think, has got the right, and I don't know, it depends on how hard you push for it, but the passion and the music was always primary. That's what I wanted to be, and it gives you that opportunity to do it. But then, as you said, Ron, if people don't support the whole process, not just like the first 6 years or 10 years of Massive Wagons being together, and then you get a little bit of success, and then it can stop like that. That's the worrying thing. But you know, thankfully, right now, they're supporting us. They're supporting every band in the circuit, and like I said, long may it continue. And like we need you guys as much as you need our music. It's a two-way thing, as Lloyd said, and yeah, incredible.
proof in the pudding. Look what they're doing.
Doing.
Look what the rock community's doing. You're putting bands on the map. We were
Yeah.
on, for example, Point of No Return was charted amongst the likes of Green Day, Lewis Capaldi, Bloody Stormzy, Billie Eilish, all multiple
Brian
millions.
Ferry, that was another one, wasn't it?
Oh, Brian Ferry. You can't let that one go, can you, Lloyd? You love
I
Brian
fucking
Ferry.
can't,
today.
son. We can like see that part.
I named that top 10 and it's
You have a
like
couple of
Brian
nippers and
Ferry.
stick your head on him.
They were. But they were. He's got the support. He's still got the support. Brian
Yeah,
Ferry, how long has he been in the
He
game?
is still
Like
connected,
proven.
but he
Get
is
him a
still
nipper.
connected.
Get him a nipper.
I'd love to have a
sick-
drink with Brian.
Sick of me, we dropped that a couple of weeks ago, and to see our name, well, literally, what did it end up being? It's the dream in a way. It's like Foo Fighters, those damn Crows, and then it was Royal Blood, and then you've seen Queen and stuff like that. So it's just a real, and then fair play to the Scam Boys the other day. Like I said, I mentioned it a couple of times. Independent band rock community has spoken. They have the power, they buy the vinyls, they buy the records, and now they're streaming as well, which is great because it all counts, doesn't it? Like that's the big picture,
Yep.
It is, man.
What do you think, Shiner Boy?
I'd the other way, from say, the chart position and stuff. It all that's great, but for me, it's people through doors to watch live music, and that's the great thing about our fans that we've all seen, and we've seen our fan base grow. And sometimes I stand on our stage and you actually look out and you just go, "How the fuck did we go from there to you?"
Yeah.
We've had this conversation many a times, haven't we, Shane?
Yeah, it is. It's that one always sticks in my head is KK's.
Yeah.
Just literally standing there and just looking out and going, am I here or am I dreaming? What am I?
I had to nearly break my foot in front of all them people.
Yeah.
Talking of people breaking things.
There's KKs and what we just spoke of now. I mean, it's bittersweet, but like the last big gig we did was the Winter's End.
Yeah.
And the journey, I mean, trying to get on a Planet Rock stock. So if there's any band listening to this, whether it's down the line or whatever, we tried to get on a Planet Rock stock. Took a while, and then finally we got an opportunity. And then you just keep knocking down doors, don't you? And then to obviously headline Winter's End was just an incredible moment. It was electrifying. I know we've said that before, so I don't want to kind of repeat conversations, but it's that connection with the fans that, like you said, Shine, how did we get you? It's magical. It's magical,
Well, I suppose to answer that question, how do we get you? I suppose it's the fans, isn't it? They're the ones who put us there.
Yeah, exactly that. But shall we have some birthday shout outs and birthdays and shout outs? Why not?
Yeah, let's do
Let's treat
both.
them, innit? Let's do
What a
both.
combo.
The
Let's
large.
do that. Hi, boys. I was wondering if you could do a shout out on Tuesday's CrowCast. That's tonight. For my hubby, Pete Griffiths, in brackets, Griff. He'll be 50 on Thursday, the 11th of March. So he's 50 on Thursday and celebrating 50 CrowCasts on Tuesday. That's brilliant. He's tuned into all 50 and absolutely loves you guys and can't wait for all your rescheduled gigs. He would love a shout out. Thanks, boys. Happy birthday, Pete.
Happy birthday, Pete.
I'll have a drink, Anipa. Happy birthday, bud.
You too.
Oh, well done, boys.
Don't have to ask me twice.
We got another birthday. It's quite a big one, actually. I've had lots of text messages. Hi, guys. I'm after a big favor. Can you please wish B. Edwards a very happy birthday? That's from Darren, Joe, and Dan. Happy birthday, B.
Happy birthday.
Your birthday tomorrow, but you won't believe how many people have asked.
Yeah.
All the Crow
Yeah,
family. It's not just your intimate family there. Everybody in the Crow family. Happy birthday, lovely. Hope Darren treats you and spoils you rotten tomorrow. He will, I know. And have a good day. Let's have a drink to B. Happy birthday, B.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, B.
That's good, that is. That's good.
It's good, isn't it? It's not bad.
Dude, I'm liking these Tuesday night spice.
I know, right?
That's a new Saturday.
Nick and Josanna. Hey, Crows, any chance you could give a shout out to our son Ben and his partner Hannah, who had their baby boy Louis at 5:12 a.m. this morning. He loves you guys and cannot wait to see you. That's amazing news. Congratulations, Ben and Hannah, and all the Zana family for the latest edition. Louis.
Congrats.
Louis. That's awesome. The youngest member of the Crow family, born today.
Yeah,
Love
officially, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Loves the record.
Yeah. And in 18 years' time, can taste Send the Nipa.
Yes.
Sell by date be gone by then, mind. But
There we go. That's all the birthdays and shout-outs.
Fantastic.
What's the next lyric? It's lyric time. What's the next line? What's the next line? What's the next line?
That was dramatic at the end. What's the next line? So the lyric is as follows. Step aside and let me show you. Is that right? Yeah. Step aside and let me show you. What it is, I'm reading.
I know.
I put it in wrong, haven't I?
Yeah.
Damn it. So it's
So
not
they worked it
swearing.
out.
I just typed it in wrong. Step aside and let me show you. What's the next line? Go. What's the prize, Ron?
Oh, the prize. The prize, you say? Ta-da. Nope. That didn't work.
There it is.
Ta-da.
Ah, look at this.
what's that then?
Oh, right, that's it.
Oh.
The prize tonight is a little tea towel. The Crow's got a tea towel. We live in England.
Hey, Kiss got nothing on us, boy. He
So-
got nothing on us.
Nothing at all. But so when you see if you let me paint a picture for you. You're drinking your Nipa, right? And then you've spilt some on the counter.
No way.
You wipe it up with a Crow
lick it up.
tea towel, and then you wring the tea towel back into the glass.
Ah,
Put a
I'm
bit of
sold.
kiss on and go, lick it up.
I'm sold. I'm sold. Sold. So that is the prize, yeah, Shane?
That is the prize, a tea towel. A Crow tea towel. You will be the first person to own a Crow tea towel. I can't sell this tea towel anymore, boys. Help me out.
I think you've sold it enough for me. I mean, do you know how many times I've been in the kitchen and you're just doing so? Oh, I've just spilled it. Hey, you know what I need? I need a Crow tea towel. There it is. Just pick that up from the counter. Give it a bit of a wipe. Job done. Job done. Anyway, what was
That's the game on the GML channel.
Yeah.
Sure, I'm seeing in the comments someone people are writing the answer right, and to me it sounds like everyone's had like a brain fart. So if you read it, it makes me think that someone's had too much Nipa and they've lost their train of thought. Everyone's like, "Oh, how I played the game? How I played the game?"
I love it. Well, while Shane is looking for the winner and he is sorting it out with the judges, we do have official judges in the background. Check in. How about we do a little bit of
The best music all day long. Crow Radio. Available now via Those Damn Crows Spotify page. Don't forget to click the green heart.
I love
What's your
her.
favorite time of the week? Crow Radio. So we have chosen this week to celebrate our scene, what is known as the new wave of classic rock. Okay, so we've chosen bands from our scene, right, to add in. So here we go. Of course, we're going to start with us. So it starts with Long Time Dead by us. Moving on, we've got Against the Wall by our good friends in Mason Hill.
Two.
Next up are our good friends Dust Coda with Jimmy Two Times.
Two.
Next up is our good friends Massive Wagons with House Noise.
Two.
Moving on, our good friends Stone Broken with Worth Fighting For. Moving
Two.
on, our good friends in Florence Black with Bird on a Chain.
Have you got a
Moving
different
on.
script that doesn't say how good friends?
Yeah, we got some good
No,
friends,
he's,
haven't we?
he's got to say it to all of them now, otherwise
No,
we're all
well,
just
you're
like
going to have to
friendly,
say
they're
it
just so
to
good
every
friends.
single
I
one
know.
of them now. Otherwise, it's not. It's going to be
Yeah.
political.
They're all good friends of ours. Let's move on. Okay,
Go on
so
then.
next one is up is Hear Me by Wolfjaw.
Are they all
Then
good
we have
friends? They are good
Young
friends, though.
City Heart by Monster Truck.
2.
Wake Up, Scam. She Won't Let
Good-
You Go,
Good
Inglorious.
friends. Disclaimer. Good friends.
Down by the River, The New Roses.
2.
This Fight, Dead Man's Whiskey.
Good
The
friends.
Grip, The Rocket Dolls.
Good friends.
Killing Time, Haxon.
Good
Standing
friends.
Stones, Everyday Heroes.
Friends.
Captives, King Creature.
Good
100
friends.
Days, Battalion of Flies.
Good friends.
Gravity by our good Welsh friends. See, different that time. Tribus.
Oh, fantastic. And just in case there's anybody we've missed out, literally we will do another one down the line, and Dave will go over that entire list and make sure that we get a new list of everybody that we've missed out. How about that?
A new list of all our new good friends.
Yes.
All our
And
new
we'll
friends.
do a separate one for our enemies then.
Yes.
Well, you
and,
can.
where can they find that? Where can they find our playlist, Dave?
Okay, so you can go through thosedamncrows.com, Spotify, click the little heart, share with your friends, download. If you download it, it stays in your library forever. So if you like it, download it.
Wow. What it like saves to your library forever,
Yes.
does it? Cool. And share that with your good friends. I'm
Yes,
sure
share
they'll love
it.
it.
Absolutely.
Especially with the summer coming. There's some great bands on there, guys. And all jokes aside, there's some incredible bands in this rock scene. We couldn't fit them all on the playlist. We will be doing more down the line. There will be another celebratory rock playlist of all bands on the scene. But that's a phenomenal one to kickstart it.
Oh, aye.
Mr. Greenall, do we have a winner?
No,
We don't have a winner.
not yet.
We don't have a winner.
Dave,
China,
go through the list again.
China, you like a tea, don't you?
I do.
Get
But
that
what
kettle on, son.
Yeah, but what happens? Hang on now, Lloyd. What happens, see, when you're multitasking, right? You're in the middle of like, you've made a cup of tea, you've got back to your desk, you put your tea down on the desk, you've picked up your guitar, you just turn to go and plug your guitar. Oh, no, you've knocked your tea over. You know what you could do with, don't you, Shine?
You get that crow's tea towel.
Towel, but to wipe it up.
That's exactly right. That's right. Unbelievable. Hang on. Hang on 2 seconds. Hiya, Gene. Yeah. Hiya, Gene. I'm sorry, mate. This is very unprofessional. I'm on the CrowCast. It's Gene Simmons, boys. Hang on 2 seconds. Yes, that's right. We have a tea towel. I'll hook you up. I'll hook you up, Gene. No problem. All right, wicked. That was Gene.
What's the answer about a tea towel?
Yeah. Yeah, it was Auntie Jean actually. So
Auntie
there we
Jean.
go. She wants a tea towel, lover. She loves a tea towel, Auntie Jean. Does her Welsh cakes, and do you know what happens with Welsh cakes? You need to cool them down, so you put your tea towel over the top. Oh, there you go. There you go. Have we got a winner, Greenall?
Great feeling, as a dentist would say.
Brilliant.
Yes, we have.
I love it.
That's
The
a
winner
relief.
is-
I was going to get on the phone to Ace Freely.
Brilliant. I'm one step
on,
away from QVC,
Oh,
but yeah.
Paul! This is Paul on the line.
Okay, so the first person ever to get a Crow tea towel. What a gift. Even Jean's phoned up to ask for one. Look, that's unbelievable.
Auntie Jean just phoned. She loves them. Loves them. Hooking it
So
up.
the lyric was, "Step aside and let me show you." And the line that follows is, "How I play this game." This is from Devil in My Pocket. Lots of people answered it. But the winner is Vinita Ingram. Congratulations, love. You got
What a tea towel.
a Crow tea towel. The
Well,
first
there's no
ever.
excuse for the dishes not being clean.
Those
Sorry,
dishes
dry.
won't wash it.
There we go.
Super smashing great. Well, we haven't got a jingle this week, but I thought it would it'd be rude not to mention. Did any of you see the other day? Obviously, we did the last CrowCast. Then Arnie Schwarzenegger put in the Crow Fitness group that the competition started of the world tour, basically, how long it will take the Crow Fitness group to travel all the way around the world united. So they all had to guess different dates. So I was speaking to Annie. Basically, would you like some stats, guys?
Yeah,
Oh, I love a stat, but
yeah. It's like football, isn't it?
It's great, isn't it? It's great. Well, right. So the first official round of the world competition has taken us from Bridgend a little past Marrakesh,
Oh wow.
via Le Mans, Madrid, Gibraltar, and Casablanca, just over 1,900 miles. That's right, 1,900 miles. There will be more stats. I think it's cool, man, if we can kind of check on this weekly just to see how the Crow
Definitely.
family are doing. I've seen a lot of people buying bikes, a lot of people out now. The weather has changed, see, so everybody's out having a nice walk.
That'll be good. Next
yeah.
launch. You should have a towel to
A
wrap
lot of
around your
the-
shoulders when you're on the bike.
Do you know what? Put the tea towel on, innit? Put the tea towel
Exactly.
on.
Yeah, the
Sunny
tea towel
day.
on.
Good God.
I can't believe that's the distance that everyone's done.
Yeah, man, that's a true fact. Honestly, Annie's been in touch. So yeah, that is the official. So from Bridgend to Marrakesh, 1,900 miles. Fair play, Crow family. A lot of people have been guessing. Some say soon as March. Some say as late as November. Any guesses from you guys, Shane?
what was the question?
How long will it take Crow Fitness to travel around the world?
How
Oh,
long?
it's pretty obvious. It will be.
Give us a month. Go on.
It'll be. What month is it?
We are
What are we
in
in March?
March.
Yeah, May the 8th. No, May the 4th be with you.
Boom. He's even given a date.
May the 4th.
May the 4th. Shane has said May the 4th. So, Annie, I don't know if you want to write that down. Someone will need to remind me on that one. Save me going through all the
Yeah.
clips. Shiner boy, do you want to take a guess?
Yeah, I'll set them a little challenge as a subplot. They've got to do it before the next time we're on stage in front of them.
Wow. There we go. There we
We're not
go.
allowed in.
Which ain't going to be long. This, what's Boris on about? Around about July they got till.
I didn't say what year though, Ron.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Well, if it's measuring as the crow flies, as Annie said, we're almost about 8% of the way around the equator.
In that
All right.
case, I'm going to say August, but not anything after.
That's much better.
See what I've done there?
Yeah, absolutely, Lloyd. I was so foolish to go first. Thank you for asking me first, Ron.
Sorry. I'm going to go September.
Yeah, that's another good month.
I'm going to go September the 6th. There we are.
What was that?
It's all good. It's all good.
I'll
But
go.
yeah.
I'll go. A month I made up in between July and August called Jawgust.
Always nice to be different, Dave. Always nice to be different. Talking about different.
It's a fucking neat bird, it is. Fucking throwing things around the room. You can't swallow more than 2 or 3 times in a row.
What?
Try
Say it
it.
again.
That's bollocks. I just done it 4 times in a row, mate.
You cannot swallow more than 2 or 3 times in a row. If you sit there,
I just done 3.
yeah, can you do any more than that?
Bollocks.
Just done 4. Give me the full screen.
No,
Go on.
I can only do 1.
Go on then, Lloyd. You're up then, Lloyd. Let's go for Lloyd.
Go on, then. Four.
There we are.
Okay.
Bollocks, Dave.
All right, then 4
Lucky
then.
Pat, let's have another one then.
Well, that's just proving you wrong, isn't it? It's just not a did you know.
Can we do 1? Go dry mouth. Need a beer.
Did you sit there and went, I can only swallow once? Did you know? Swallow more than 3 times.
Everyone's trying it though. Everyone is trying it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's not true, is it?
It doesn't need to be true. Very, very little of what I say is true. So it don't matter to say.
So we take 50 weeks.
Go on, and you're another one then. I'll give you another one then. Ooh, throw another one
Oh,
in
you want
then.
another one? You want another one?
The Cookie Monster's first name is Sid.
What?
Yep. His name's Sid.
The Cookie Monster's first name is Sid.
Yes.
I didn't know that. I'm hoping the chat room are like, that's bollocks as well.
Nope.
Could
his
he
name is Sid.
Oh, that's true. A lot of people are saying it's true. Few naughty people in the chat room are asking spit or swallow. That's a completely different show.
I think that's what Dave was trying to ask you.
Yeah. Did you know? That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. Fuck I.
Okay.
Is that where you got the oh fucking hell from? You couldn't swallow any more than once.
Yeah.
Oof.
Oh, there's a lump.
So
Tell you what.
apparently, the Cookie Monster's name is Sid. Shane, that's where we are.
His name's Sid.
Who did you
Yeah.
ask?
Alex Marsh, the Cookie Monster isn't real, David. You have fucked him up now, Alex. You have absolutely fucked him up.
I'm gonna buy you a pint of Neeper, Alex.
The worst thing is, we're gonna have to counsel him after this show. It's okay, David. It's a
I
puppet.
do like to have the
It's
thought
a
in my head.
puppet. Do you remember that break on
I'm
me?
like this,
like
Brian
he is.
Conley, that is. It's a puppet.
Puppet.
I like the thought of people going to bed tonight because it tends to be quite late in the night that I give these facts to everyone. They sort of lying in bed, mulling them over.
I couldn't even look it up.
What do you mean by that? You know, I like to think that I'm in people's head last thing at night.
So in your head now, you want people to be in your head. You want them to go to bed, trying
Thinking
to
of me.
swallow, thinking of Sid.
No, thinking of me.
Whilst trying to swallow
Are you Sid?
and thinking about the Cookie Monster.
We've gone into a completely different topic now of safe words. Did you know? That's right.
That's my fact. Oh, fucking hell.
It's a puppet. It's a puppet. Was Larry the Loafer? That was Larry the Loafer, that wasn't it?
Oh, bloody hell.
Look at that cardigan.
I want to dress up like that next week. I'm not going
You
to lie.
want a jumper, Dave, or a cardi?
He cardigans like around East London, didn't he? Proper hipster cardi, like.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, Lynn Parry, this is brilliant. Annie Joyce, I feel a Neeper has kicked in. Anyone want to see if Ronnie fancies a skip? Yeah, I'm not, yeah. By the time I've done this second pint,
Skip or a whip?
Yeah, I'll be telling the boys I can run a fucking marathon or something. I don't.
Yeah, he'll do 10 for you now, Annie, after another glass of that.
No, I think the correct words were, I'll give her a 10.
Yeah. I won't do one, I'll give
Tell
it
you what,
10.
I'm fucking enjoying this tonight.
Look at the rosy cheeks on it.
Amazing.
Available nowhere now.
Oh, he's brilliantly.
Oh, it's brilliant. Probably a great time, guys, to point out we are on Facebook. We are on Instagram. For those who are watching now live on YouTube, thank you very much. Those who are not, you can subscribe to us on the YouTube channel, where you can see all the official videos and playthroughs of the band. Plus, there's other content up there as well. So go and subscribe, share anything you want from there. Twitch as well. There's a few people on Twitch. Yet again, a new platform. We're still new to it. We're still trying it. So if you're familiar with it, go and give it a like and see what you think. And then Twitter as well. Go and give us a follow on the old Twitter. Then, of course, if you like it all in one place, you like your eggs in one basket, Dave. That's what they like. Nice and simple. They don't want to know about puppets. They just want it simple. They want to go to www.thosedamncrows.com, because when you go to that page, guys, you can look at the music. You can see what tours, what's happening with all the rescheduling. Go to www.thosedamncrows.com. You can see everything that's up to date and that has been changed. We got our shop. We got CrowCast. Don't forget, there's the CrowCast podcast as well. And then beer, as David said. I know we're all drinking it, but there is another batch underway. I promise you that. And Crow Fitness, guys, everything is on www.thosedamncrows.com.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. It's there. Just go there. Don't go anywhere else.
Ronald, before we finish the night, winner, Gene Simmons been on the phone. He wants another opportunity for the tea towel.
No way.
Yes.
No way.
Nice.
Good
I said,
God.
there's only one way again now, Gene. And that's if we give it away.
No way. Like the royalties to the show. I tell you
James
what.
playing the drums.
Oh, Chili Peppers, he's there, boy, going like, oh, I'll play it again. Go on, give something away. Tea towel, go on.
Here we go. Tea towel time. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be?
Oh, I'm sure. Oh, this is the one.
Oh.
It's Gene
Oh.
Simmons. No. Ooh.
Chris Oxborough.
Ooh.
Congratulations, buddy.
Well done, Chris. You are the second human being on the planet to own a Crow tea towel.
Yes. Unbelievable, Jeff. Unbelievable.
Oh, Gene.
Ladies and gentlemen, one-liner, shiner, 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 shiner.
Here we go.
Well, this kind of fits in with the last 20 minutes, boys, without unwillingly knowing. Right, we ready?
Yeah.
Life isn't as serious as people make it out to be. Dave,
I agree.
that applies to you.
There's the one-liner.
That's brilliant, bud. Absolutely. If you can't laugh yourself, what's the point? Absolutely. Crow family, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to Scott and James from Mason Hill. Thank you from Adam and Scott from the Desk Coda. Go get their albums. It's great music. Rock is alive and well. Our tea towels are now available online as well at our web store. Go get it if you want one. We love you bits, and we will see you next Tuesday live at 9 on CrowCast.
I'm not giving up. I'm not